Transition. Hey, folks. I'm here with FIDE Master Paul Whitehead, here with FIDE Master Hosea Stearman. And he did something today which I didn't do, which was win his game very quickly. So let's, Hosea, let's go back to the beginning and just play it out for us.
Okay.
And with your master commentary, what is it, 10 minutes? Oh, no, it's been an hour. So
Yeah,
you won your
an
game
hour.
in an hour. Okay.
Yeah, so e4, c5. I mean, it's kind of funny because I play this as black. I mean, I play this as white. So,
Right.
so bishop g7, I have 3. He played a little strange move order, but we kind of transposed to close Sicilian.
Sure.
So e6. E5 here, I think this is the first kind of inaccuracy. I think it's just a little early for e5.
I'd say you're probably right.
Yeah, just because after I play d5 and he takes, he loses his center pawn, and he kind of loses an attack. I mean, that's the whole point of close Sicilian is you get an f5 push with the g4.
Right.
So if you play something like, can I move these pieces? Oh no, I can't move.
You can't move it. We have to just talk.
Okay. So so if he plays like just castles, h3, g4, some normal moves, he's probably like equal, probably fine.
Right.
I mean, to be honest, close Sicilian's not a great open name.
Well, Spassky played it, and lots of players. So yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
okay.
I play variations of the close Sicilian and take my opponents out of book. I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah, that's true. So, but after e5, d5, I've played this before as black. Queen takes d6. I mean, there's really nothing there for white.
I agree. I'm sure. What's he going to do? Castle?
Yeah. So basically, what happened is he castled knight d7, and like his main idea is to play like knight e4 and attack c5. But as long as I guard that and castle kingside, I should be fine.
Yeah.
So that's what happened. He played queen e2 to get a knight e4 in. I played knight e7. He played knight e4 now. I put my queen on b6. It probably would have been better for me to put my queen on c7. Just hindsight. It's 2020.
Okay, because you avoid a4, a5.
Yeah, and also I
bishop
get
e3.
Yeah, I get off of the bishop e3 diagonal.
Right, I got you.
So if I put my queen on c7, then it's a little bit more flexible, I think.
Queen b6 is one of those moves you might make in a blitz game because it eyes the check.
Oh yeah, it looks very good. So he played he played c3 first because I mean c4 is not really a threat right now.
Right.
He just plays d4 pass. So I played castles first.
It's difficult for white to find a plan in these positions.
Yeah,
I think
it is. I mean, basically white just has to wait.
Yeah.
I mean, so he plays bishop b3, and I guarded with rook c8.
Okay.
And my idea was just develop my pieces.
Sure. Yeah.
I think the best move here for white would just be bishop f2.
Or rook ae1 or
I mean, just
something.
develop.
Yeah.
Like,
some developing.
I don't really have a threat right now.
Useful move.
Yeah,
King
a useful
h1.
move. Yeah, king
right.
h1, right.
Anything. Usefulness.
Yeah, but he just played d4, and I just chopped up the piece.
Oh, no. And we're talking about...
Game over.
Game over.
Yeah.
What a tragedy.
Yeah.
All I can say is that about a move like that is that I've hung my queen once, but not a piece in the middle of the board quite like that.
Yeah.
You must have been very tired.
Yeah, it's quite unfortunate.
Somebody's talking to us. Let's see.
Oh, no, that's the mechanic's chess.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Thanks for pointing that out. Yeah. Wow. And did he resign?
He didn't resign. He kept playing.
Okay.
Very valiant effort.
Inertia. Yeah.
I mean, I'd keep playing there. So queen b7.
Right. Well, and then we know what would have happened. You would have won.
maybe. So bishop d4. I mean, the rest of the game's kind of irrelevant.
Yeah.
But there was a cool tactic here. B3, knight e4. And if he instead played c4 here, and the idea is after we trade everything...
Rook c4,
and then he plays, I don't know, something like knight e5 or something. But the idea is if he plays c4 here, I have knight takes g3.
Oh, yeah.
And then
that's
takes
a nice move.
And then bishop takes f3, and I have takes d4.
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, it doesn't really matter.
Right. I think a piece of head is nice.
Yeah, a piece of head is nice. I mean, so we just kind of play the rest of the game out. It's kind of irrelevant. But, yeah.
Yeah. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, you're welcome to sit here. Are you going to play in the Rapid tournament?
I am playing the Rapid tournament on Thursday.
I was signed up to play, but now I'm doing commentary with Nick DeFermian.
Oh, okay, that should be exciting.
So I'm going to have Grandmaster Nick DeFermian here with me and making fun of people's moves, especially in the Rapid. But what an opportunity to play some really strong players.
Very strong players.
And 15 minutes. I mean, it almost gives you that feeling you can nail some of these guys. The pressure's on them to beat you, right? And as a 2350 player or whatever that I've been, or a 20, and a 2450 player at one point, I know what it's like to play a grandmaster that really wants to kill you, and to be able to take advantage of that by playing solid chess and letting them go for the win and make the mistake. The overpress and so on and so forth. So I have a feeling you're going to do well. I do.
I hope so. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the tournament.
And you also are a player that makes your own luck, very, very much so. So, which is a great thing. I mean, So, but who else is playing in this tournament? I mean, like who are the
Rapid?
Yeah, in the Rapid.
I just looked at the list. There's Shanklin, Azoria, Hammer. He's coming for the Pro Chess League.
We're going to be live streaming this at 6 p.m. on Thursday, May 2nd, from the Mechanics Institute, our Twitch channel, and then we'll archive it to YouTube afterwards. And Hosea is going to win the tournament and stun the collected grandmasters. I've played Shanklin one blitz game, and
I've played Shanklin quite a few bits.
Yeah, how do you do against? Have you? He was
mostly as a student. Though.
Really strong. Really
strong. He's very strong.
It would be great.
He's okay.
Yeah,
he's okay.
Yeah. Daniel Naroditsky, I guess he's not playing, but he's really strong at blitz.
He's very strong.
Horrible
at blitz.
To play. It's like getting strangled by a python.
I beat him one game.
Yeah.
Online. So.
Congratulations. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. No, so they're really good players and a great experience for anybody.
Yeah. It's going to be an awesome game.
I don't know which one she's back at.
Oh, okay. Could it be out in the room, out there?
Backpack is right here.
Oh, okay.
All right. You want to look at some other games?
Yeah, let's look at some. Right. Yeah, that's a great. That's why we're here. Let's look at board one.
Board one.
Andy Lee versus Conrado Diaz, and Conrado's in clear first with 5 points. He got an undeserved full point buy from. But Diaz is a player that you don't want to count out. He's a very solid player, and I haven't seen him lose too many times.
To be honest, I don't know too much about this, but
I don't
looks regular. I don't know.
And wouldn't you play Bishop G5 there normally? But
yeah, I don't know. Bishop G5, it kind of puts the bishop off to the side.
Right.
I don't know.
Although exchanging that bishop for that knight for D5.
That would be nice, right?
Is the kind of thing you often go for here. And kind of a little bit of a strange opening. I mean,
I think after Bishop G5, Black might have Knight G4.
Knight G4. Yeah.
And on something like Bishop H4, we even have G5.
Yep.
Yeah. So Bishop E3, and then we play F3, and then bring the bishop.
Bishop G3. I don't know. Yeah. Okay. So So we have this kind of typical position. Diaz is using more time than. But these endgames tend to be good for white, I think, in the long run. And so, but there was. Can we go back just a little ways, maybe? So, Bishop F4.
Right. I don't know. 97 kind of just.
97's an odd move to play D5.
Move.
He wants to play D5 right away or something like that.
But I guess
and-
what else are you gonna play? You could play.
Yeah,
I mean, we could play e5, keep the queens on the board.
and then bishop g5 or bishop e3.
Yeah,
and,
it just doesn't look too great. I mean, maybe just
yeah,
bishop e7 castles.
let's see. After a3, maybe a6 is not necessary, and black should just play another move there.
Yeah,
It wasn't really
just castle,
well thought out. A3 is kind of a nice move.
it is a nice move.
It turned out well. Andy Lee's got his own way of playing in these.
Yeah. Great Twitch design.
Great Twitch design.
It is a nice Twitch design. Okay.
It is. You like it? Great.
I do
That's,
like it.
That's cool.
Although I would like to move the pieces. That would probably be.
We're going to get that capability.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to get that capability. This is very old school. It's kind of, it's, I guess, we have to actually say what the moves are going to be
Yeah.
or something like that. Okay, so this is where it stands now. I'd say white, in this kind of typical position, white has a pull.
Yeah.
What else
Yeah.
can I say about this? Board 2 is erratic yet strong master Tenzing Shaw versus young phenom Eric Lee, who's the top ranked
Yeah.
11-year-old chess
He's
player in the
good.
country.
He's good.
He's good, and he really sits there and plays.
Yeah.
And
That's
Tenzing,
not something I could do when I was 11, or even now.
right, I know. I was always getting up, and I was
Yeah.
like on a frying pan or something. So I don't know much about this opening at all, and openings are my weak point.
Same.
Same with you.
Yeah.
It's better to concentrate on being a good all-round player. I think.
that is good.
I really think so.
Yeah,
Although
it is.
the stronger your opposition, the more you're going to have to pay attention to your openings.
Right.
Is usually the way. Now, as long this all seems to work out. Yeah.
I mean, Tenzing tends to be quite a good in the openings.
Is he good in the
I
opening?
have first-hand experience of
Okay.
just getting demolished in the opening the other 2 weeks ago.
Yikes.
Yeah,
That's
that was-
right.
that
That's
was a
right.
good game.
That's right. Yeah.
So F3 here takes.
Black plays very simply. Maybe taking at c4 is possibly a question. If you're going to
Yeah.
I mean,
I mean,
that's the risk that black takes with this
Right.
opening, is that something has to sort of give.
I
And
guess
here
black's
it's the
black's just gonna hold on to the pawn.
Yeah, and wins. Black
Yeah.
wins. Yeah, just he's up a pawn, and that's it.
Black always wins.
Okay.
I mean, maybe you could play.
We don't have computer analysis or
Yeah.
anything.
I mean, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
That's a good thing.
All right, so black's trying to hold on to his pawn, and white's trying to have a nice center and
Yeah. Bishop
and
F4.
develop. Lead and development and so on. All right, let's go on to the next game, which was, this incredible game with Josiah Stearman taking down Ashik Uzman in about an hour's time. Okay, here we have two tenacious players. Ivanov versus Chambers. And let's go back to the beginning, because this looks like an opening I'd play with black.
This is not an opening I would play with black.
Oh, this
94.
this worked out well for black. What about c5? That would be the move that would jump
I don't
into
know.
my brain.
I don't like that d6 pawn though.
And you mean take en passant knight c6?
Right.
Yeah.
Takes knight c6.
Yeah, but then it becomes a question of if white moves the knight, the black knight can go back to d4 maybe or something. I don't know. You're right. That's pawn takes pawn. Right, yeah. And if d takes c6 knight e2, then white can win a pawn by taking on b7, I guess. So knight e2.
Yeah. I think in the opening, I'm not sure. I don't know too much
Yeah,
about
go
the
ahead.
opening, but maybe here my first instinct would be like knight G2 or something like that, or
For white right now.
or like knight F3 maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
One more time.
Iran, Hawaii.
Hawaii just says Hawaii just says
Yeah,
just put some emotes in there.
Okay. Well, this is, that's a nice aggressive move.
Yeah, something I'd play.
Yeah, something about 98, and then Queen D2, I guess.
I mean, Black's really put to the question, like, what are they doing in this position?
Yeah, these can be very difficult positions to play, or you can run into trouble quickly.
Yeah. I mean, I love White's position here, just all the space and a lot of attacking capabilities.
But you don't play D4 on the first move.
I do not play D4 on the first move.
Because you can get these against.
I actually have, though.
You can get these kind of positions against King's Indian players really easily. But you strike me as being a player that would use the King's Indian, maybe.
I used to, actually.
Yeah.
I've tried everything against 1D4.
Yeah.
I played King's Indian, Dutch, the Leningrad Dutch, Stonewall Dutch. I just haven't really found my...
At least you're trying different things. Trying different things. I mean...
I've kind of settled down on the slaw for now, but...
Okay. Yeah, it's if you have a few of these openings, maybe that you specialize in over one or two, and then you can sort of delve more deeply into this. Yeah, this is not so great for Black, it's a game, but it's going to be difficult for Black to play F5, and if he opens the queen side, that's probably what White wants as well. White's difficulty here can be that he overextends and plays too ambitiously, maybe.
Yeah. But then what is Black going to do, though? How do you take advantage of that with Black?
I mean, the missing knights make this position kind of simplified and a little bit boring to my mind.
True. Yeah.
All right, here is Askin and Winslow. And Winslow, speaking of a player who can play both sides of anything, is Elliot, who plays everything.
A lot of experience.
Very experienced master. And here he's playing the black side of a King's Indian, where last week he was on the white side of a King's Indian.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, and he beat Kyron Griffith.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He beat the second highest ranked player in the tournament after Patrick Wolf. A player who it was his first loss in the Bay Area.
Really?
Kyron Griffith's first loss in a classical game in the Bay Area.
That's impressive.
So that is impressive. So, but Elliott swindled him a little bit, but it's always the player who makes the last mistake and all that.
Yeah.
Now this is an opening I've played with Black, never with White. And Elliot's been studying this. You can also put the knight on e5, I think, when the bishop goes to f4.
Okay.
It's possible. Yeah, well, okay, so the other knight wants to come to e5, and which it does. So these, very typical kind of game. You either like White or you like Black,
I personally like White.
Right.
But
I personally, always love those old games where Black would win these positions, from Bronstein, Zurich 19.
What are Black's ideas here? A4?
I mean, H5, F5, complete A4, Queen B6 maybe.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of various ways that you can develop your pieces and sort of stay flexible.
I mean, the thing we're seeing a lot in these games are the D6 weakness compared to activity for Black. So.
Yeah, no, this reminds me of your other game, that game that you played with Jacobian? No. I forgot, you played a game where you exploited the D6 square.
This tournament.
Yeah, in this tournament. It was in one of those previous rounds. Let's see, maybe it was round 2. Stearman Kondakov. That's the game I'm thinking of. Yes. Here, we can look at this. Look at the technology here. We can go all the way back to round 2, where we have this pawn structure. Where no wonder you like this for White. So
yeah, that is true.
Yeah, we all, okay, so, but this is a fairly typical kind of position, and, with various, either white can crash through on d6, or play sort of the way that you did, which was deny black a lot of counterplay, I think,
Yeah.
which is what you did in that game. Here there are more pieces on the board, and Queen f6 is an unusual looking idea.
So I guess the idea is, I'm not really sure, but I mean, I guess we put pressure on c3 potentially.
And d4.
And d4, right.
Yeah, it's a game.
It's a game.
It's a game. All right, let's go on. This game ended in a forfeit, is ending in a forfeit win for whites.
Okay.
And Bruce Ricard versus Natalia Sodakova.
This game has progressed
A lot. Yeah. Or we're getting a very late start.
Yeah.
Is it going to be a Marshall? No. Okay. So we're back into the land of the... And this is Smyslov's old variation. I think Smyslov, his name is on like every one of these defenses for black, and I think this is... Or maybe it was Karas. Either Karas or Smyslov played this. Was the player who popularized this move. It's not been a very popular move, I think, since. But what do I know? It could be the latest in theory. And white's playing a very simple, kind of thing here. When I see this, sometimes I want to move my other knight and then play f4, not let him exchange one piece.
Yeah.
Right, because the more exchanges, a little bit easier it gets for black, and the simpler the position. That's kind of an unusual move, maybe.
That does look unusual. I mean, if we move the rook, where's that bishop going? To g3?
For g3. Yeah.
G3, I guess.
Also, I want to take that, but okay. So rook e2, huh?
Oh, you were thinking taking that.
Yeah, taking the bishop, but then maybe there's not a great continuation if I take the bishop.
If you take the bishop, queen takes, like it's kind of hard to defend f4.
To defend f4, yeah, and I could play rook f1 then, but
yeah, that kind of.
I always want to grab the two bishops, grab those two bishops. But this also needed to be looked at. This is an interesting way for black to have played. I like it. I like his active play.
Yeah, and now we have kind of control of the dark squares.
Yeah.
If we trade the
Bishop d7 completing development. Is it ready for queen h4? I'm surprised. Then I guess queen f3.
I'm liking back to black's position here.
It looks. Yeah, I don't think white's. I mean, if white got 5 moves on the king side for free, it would be hard to do anything.
Well, I don't know about that.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I play g5, queen h5, g6. I'm gonna mate you.
Okay, all right. That's true. Well, I mean, just generally speaking, and I'm fond of making generalizations, actually.
Okay.
Okay, so we like black. Okay, let's keep moving on here.
Well, I should probably head out.
Okay.
But
thanks, Josiah.
It was a pleasure.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks, and congratulations.
Thank you.
You crushed your opposition. You took that piece with alacrity. All right. That was FIDE master Josiah Stearman, who joined me after winning his game really quickly. I'm going to try to take his name off of the thing here, and let's see. I'm not sure how to do that, but I'll figure it out. Hey Juan, do you want to help me? That's okay. All right, Josiah Stearman is gone. Let's look at Walter versus Kondakov. And Michael Walter has been a national master, and Adrian Kondakov is certainly on his way to becoming a master. And this is round 7 of the Tuesday night marathon. And my name is Paul Whitehead, FIDE Master Paul Whitehead. This Thursday, we are going to be live broadcasting an incredible chess tournament, a rapid tournament with John Ludwig Hammer, Sam Shankland, Conrad Holt, and other grandmasters. I should have the list in front of me, but I don't. Maybe I'll grab it or somebody will bring it in. I was going to play, but I got drafted to provide the commentary, and that's going to be with Grandmaster Nick DeFermian, 3-time U.S. champion Nick DeFermian. We're also going to have, I should get Abel, Mechanics Institute chess director Abel Talamantes in here at some point, and I will this evening, to tell us what's going on here at the Mechanics. You can look on our Facebook site, our Facebook page, and we've already put up a whole weekend's worth of events. But there's updates about the May 2nd tournament, and that's this Thursday, just 2 days from now. What a strong chess tournament! This is going to be it's going to be a lot of fun. Amazing. Let's take a look at Walter Kondakov, and this is another English King's Indian hybrid. I haven't seen any. These positions are, who do you like, black or white? Juan, now that you're here, show me how to take off the name, because I looked, I couldn't find how to take. Jose. This is Juan Sendejas, and he is helping us with the technological part of main plane.
Oh, it's a
main plane. So we're taking out Jose's name here. Okay, and then transition. But Juan, your name should be up here. Juan is starting a business. What's the name of your business?
Chess House.
Chess House.
Yeah.
And you're providing equipment and DGT technology and all kinds of stuff for here in the Bay Area and
anywhere in the United States, but soon will be online.
And online. Do you have a website yet?
Soon, yes.
Soon.
Chesshouse.com.
Chesshouse.com. All right. Well, we're looking forward to seeing that. Meanwhile, we could not be doing this without Juan, and so thank you, Juan.
Thank you.
Let's see. Okay, so I need the DGT boards. One. Okay, I'm going to go try to do this myself. There it is. Juan, can you help me? Okay. Oh no, that didn't quite work. All right. I'm going to try to find some expert advice here. And Juan, can you help me get the DGT boards back? Because let's see, I'm down here.
The first one, right click.
It's right click. Interact. Gotcha. It's the first board? And then transition. Is that correct?
You're good. You can just...
Okay. Okay. So here we are. Okay.
Board number 8. Yep.
Thank you, Juan. Could you bring me the game pairings? That'd be cool. Thank you so much. All right, we're a little behind on the curve here. So this is a typical complicated, English middle game. Not one pawn has been exchanged, so anything could happen. Both sides are maneuvering, and White takes the d5 square, and now this looks like a decent way for Black to try to solve this problem. Maybe.
You're gonna do this.
So black has a passed C pawn,
Oh, that's
and white
how you gonna do it.
might be trying to surround the E4 pawn, and maybe even try to start a kingside attack with G5, H4, and bishop H3. I kind of like the way this has gone for white here. I think this is turning out nicely for white. We'll see what happens. Okay, so Gaffigan, two strong experts on board 9 in the round 7 of the Tuesday night marathon. And I'm going to try to go all the way back to the beginning and see what happened in this game. And we have a Tarrasch defense to the Queen's Gambit. And a rather old variation with Bishop E6, I think. Well, folks,
Probably not. Well,
unless this is booked, this is maybe going well.
and I might have made a mistake doing that. Because I think
I'm not sure. Bishop takes E6 check and knight takes D5 might be possible, or bishop takes E6 check and queen G6. Complicated. Complications on board 9. He played bishop takes E6 check. King E6, knight D5 is coming up. Is this going to be a knockout blow? Is this the end of little Rico? We'll see what happens. Gaffigan is going for Sosa's throat, as they would say. And on the last board we have, on board 10, we have Russell Wong, National Master Russell Wong versus strong expert Ethan Boldy. And this is turned into...
you can't do it. You got to do that.
Gaffigan loves these positions, says I am F-pawn. Okay. And now we have one of Chigorin's ideas against the French defense. That's Queen E2. And often leads to a King's Indian reverse. B6, Knight F3.
Yeah.
Thank you, Juan. Is this from outside? Oh, okay. Okay, I'll have to give that back. It's precious. Let's see. Ethan Boldy has gone his own way with this kind of development, and E5, rather typical kind of position. Anyway, it could go either way. I'm not going to comment. Let's go back to board 1 here and go back to this position after castles. E5, bishop E3, bishop E7, F3, B5, G4, bishop E6, knight E5. All right, so now white has the 2 bishops. And a space advantage. And with that move, looks like he wants to maybe play F4. And so maybe that's what he's thinking about, playing F4 here. White has a nice edge. I mean, with knight A5 maybe, and knight C6. I definitely like white's game. All right, we're going to go to board 2. Shaw, who has sacrificed a pawn and has built up the center, and another fairly typical sort of position. I don't think black is in too much issue here. Looks like he could play knight takes E5, and if bishop E5, maybe, oh, I see. Can't move the knight with the G pawn hanging. Various possibilities. Oh, great! I have that. Fantastic. I was getting bored with my own company.
You look lonely over here.
I'm going to try Abel's name again. I've become a little better at this. First we have to find it among the long list of names here. He's up at the top. There he is. And I'm going to transition. No, I have to unlock.
We were engineer here.
And then transition. Okay. So Abel, we have had some new entries into the Rapid tournament. Is that right?
Yeah. Just in the last few days, we got
everybody's showing up back here.
Everybody.
Okay.
People showing up that are like not in the tournament. We got Grandmaster Sam Shanklin. He'll be playing, which is huge. We just got Vincent McCambridge.
Vincent McCambridge, International Master. Yeah. Vincent McCambridge.
Yeah, I am. And then I think we posted on Facebook the other day the entries. We had a few more people register, so it's very exciting. It's a strong field. I think it's 7 Grandmasters, like 6 International Masters.
Wow.
It's 22 Masters in total just in the open section.
This is so exciting. I'm going to be commenting here on Thursday evening at 6 o'clock with 3-time U.S. champion Nick DeFermian. And so I won't be playing, and neither will Nick. So we can just be 2 old guys mocking the chess players and happily pointing out their blunders.
And you're going to give the field a chance to win?
Yeah, we're going to give the field.
Yeah.
We're going to give the field a chance to win. We're also being joined. Would you like to? I can step out of here for a while.
You need to take a break, or
we can do that.
I think the 3 of us can,
or the 3 of us can sit here.
Yeah. So we have a very special guest today. We have Dr. Judith Stare from Bay Area Chess joining us.
Especially the doctor.
Yeah, emphasize doctor.
We might have to ask Judith to move in. I'm going to move in. Scoot in so we can hear. And I'm going to go be the policeman and go back there and tell people to keep it down.
Sure. Sounds good.
Yeah.
So, thanks for kind of stopping by and helping us TD today. We know you're doing a lot of exciting things with Accessibility and Special Circumstances Committee with U.S. Chess, of which you are the vice chair?
Yes.
Yeah, vice chair.
Under Janelle Lossoff.
Janelle Lossoff, she's the chair. Did you want to talk a little bit about that? Because I know you guys are doing a lot of exciting work, especially with regards to kind of defining some rules for U.S. chess that might maybe even go above and beyond what FIDE does. So curious to hear about it.
Yeah, well, not defining new rules, but like defining what are the circumstances and what are the accommodations that we recommend for organizers and tournament directors to make to really have accessible events. And the main focus and the main mission.
Having issues over here.
I took my name off, so you can have it.
All right. So you can have the floor here.
Sounds good. Okay, let's do this.
All right.
So basically, the main mission of the Accessibility Committee is to promote tournaments, regular tournaments that would be accessible to all. So the main difference is that we are really trying to help organizers to welcome any players regardless of their circumstances and regardless of what they need. And whatever players might need, we would try to help the organizers and the tournament directors to accommodate them rather than sending them to segregated events, right?
I know we had a player that's playing the marathon. He's actually playing right now. Lucas Rydell, he actually wrote about in the newsletter, and it was kind of fascinating for me because it's not something that I've actually had to deal with. So it was kind of like an interesting learning experience. The cool thing was not just learning it for me of how a blind player would go about playing a game, but the education that goes into his opponent too, because their opponents are having to learn a new skill. And I just kind of want to give a shout out to Bruce Ricard. I mean, he actually took that opportunity because he was going to play him a few weeks ago. He was actually excited at the opportunity to kind of participate in that and learn for himself. So it's kind of an education two ways, just not just from the tournament directors having to learn this, but just the chess public, they're having to kind of learn how that is.
Yeah, and this was my first time ever dealing with a blind chess player, so it was really good for me to start the game, go through that experience so I can help others too. But I really love that he's really excited to join the regular tournaments here, and it's really fascinating. And some small nuances, like even I thought that the recorder that he's using to record a move, that's obviously have to say out loud the moves, right? And you would think that maybe another type of recording device might be not that loud, right? But actually, I just learned from him it would be louder. So they have a special Braille typewriter, right? Braille typewriter, but that would be much louder than this recorder. And this is really, really very, very.
And that recorder is like a small voice recorder, so he'll talk in and say the move, and that acts as the official
but
notation.
it's actually not at all disturbing. Very quiet. He does it very quietly. So I cannot see how it would disturb the others around him. So it's very interesting and very good experience for me.
Now, I know you work very closely with the committee to kind of actually from, compared to other committees in U.S. chess, you guys are very, very active because I know how many hours you spend kind of developing this.
Yeah.
I think the chess committee would love to hear just in USCF committees, kind of what goes into trying to make something into law, so to speak. Like, kind of what's the process of what you do in committee to then try to get that as kind of a rule and established.
So there's a 4-person subcommittee within that committee that was established to make the guidelines. So the guidelines are to make the. So the guidelines are basically a handbook of recommended suggestions how to deal with different situations. What are the accessible venue? How to set up the venue to be accessible for different players, and then we actually went through and take the commonly observed different situations and players with different circumstances, and gave them recommendation of what are allowed, what are not allowed, right? It's always a very subtle way. It's a very tricky situation because we would like to be accommodating to every player, but we also have to consider the other player to be fair, right? So we always emphasize that we want to have a safe and fair environment for everyone, not just one player or the other player.
And I know you were very busy this weekend. You just got busy with a very big tournament in Santa Clara. You want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, let me go back a little bit with the guidelines. So we just finished that actually over probably a good 6 months. We met almost weekly for an hour and a half each evening, each week, and so
it was online.
Yes, and the guideline was sent to the executive. No, not online yet. Online.
But the meetings,
yes, because Stephanie Burke was joining us from St. Louis, Martha Underwood was joining us from Arizona, and obviously Jenna Lossoff, or the chairman of the committee, she's from Las Vegas. So the 4 of us met regularly in the evenings and developed this guidelines. Guidelines is now almost in the final stage. It's currently in the executive board and in front of the executive board, and hopefully they will be approved with the next board meeting. So we're excited about that.
And we have F-Bon commenting right here that he had the experience of playing a former U.S. blind champion at the U.S. Open in 2008.
Yeah.
So,
And Frank, a weather player, he's an amazing TD. So I learned so much from him.
We got Paul helping us out in some ways we might name out.
So I'm kind of hoping that every player, these guidelines are not just for tournament organizers and tournament directors, but also for players to educate them what are the possibilities. So we'll try to train everyone and inform.
And it's just a great thing to have chess accessible to everyone, regardless of the circumstances. Yeah. So,
Tournament.
Susan Polgar.
Susan Polgar tournament, yes.
What happened over there?
Well, we broke records. So we had 440 individual players all together, 490 something total players across the sections and with the Blitz tournament. So almost 500.
And you have a puzzle solving competition as part of that.
Yeah, we had a puzzle solving over with 50 puzzle solvers. So we had two categories for trophies, the 1,000+ players and the under 1,000. So this is exciting.
Very cool.
I think the Rohan Dash won the overall. Rohan Dash, Mia probably, and someone else.
The puzzle?
They tied for.
They're in good company because didn't Christopher Yu was the former puzzle solving champion there?
Yeah, I think so. Yes, exactly. And he won the Triple Crown. He not only won the puzzle solving, he won the regular section and the Blitz. So
and the Blitz, yeah.
Yeah, so
that's a big deal. The Triple Crown at the Polgar.
Well, it's $1,000. So
is that right? I didn't know there was a Triple Crown prize.
And then we had a player from Southern California this year. He was really, you could tell he was shooting for the Triple Crown, but he made a mistake, Harold's mistake, to hand in the puzzle too fast, under 7 minutes, or 7 minutes, a little bit over 7 minutes, and he made a mistake.
There's no points for speed.
Exactly. So
in chess or in life. Unless you're playing the Blitz tournament or the Rapid tournament.
So, yeah, but overall, Daniel from Southern California won the under 16, 18 championships.
And
so he's the winner.
The winners of the high school sections, they get a big prize.
Yeah, so this tournament is sponsored by Webster University as well as the Susan Polgar Foundation. And the high school section, so both the girls and the boys, they get a full right to Webster, full scholarship. So it's no small deal. So both him and so Daniel and I can't remember the girl's name. I'm very sorry, but they both won the scholarship.
So they have the option to go there and train with them, Susan and
so
the rest of the team.
they are obviously invited to Susan's team. The other cool thing with this tournament is that the foundation has a girls' invitational every year in June or July. This year is in June. So all the winners of the girls' section, they are automatically qualified for that special closed invitation tournament. So together with 50-ish girls, they're going to be competing there. So it's exciting.
Very exciting, very exciting. And so I stopped by that tournament for a little bit this past weekend, and I was telling Susan and Paul, about the great things we're doing here in mechanics, and we're hoping to get a visit from them sometime very soon. So this will count as an official invitation. We'd love to see them come down, but I think they'll do it.
Yeah, I think the next time when they are coming, I think if we arrange it,
we're very convincing. So well, thanks for kind of sharing this time. I think we're going to give it back to the pro over here and go over the games. He says no, but he is the pro.
We definitely, I can analyze the
You did fantastic. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, I'll send them over
as they come. Okay, all right, and I'll try to police these guys.
I already tried.
Okay, I'm going to put my name back over here. And that's good. And let's find Abel Talmentes and take him off. And transition, and there we are. Okay.
So we're going to go back to these games that we're been looking at here. Let's go quickly back to board one. I'm sorry, everybody. We've been a little lax on that. Let's see. We're going to go. Let's see. I was on board one. Diaz and Andy Lee versus Diaz, and Andy Lee definitely with some pressure here. Diaz is a very resilient player, but he's being forced into some passivity here. And White's got the 2 bishops and so on, and access to the c6 square, and so this is looking good for White. Okay, behind me we have players analyzing their games from the Tuesday night marathon, which is going on around me in 2 other rooms. We have over 100 players playing right now, round 7. I'm going to turn around and ask one of these players named Jerry. How'd you do today, Jerry? Jerry won. All right. Well, give a hand to Jerry Simpkins, who won his game today. All right. Let's go to board 2. And Jerry, I'm gonna ask you again, Jerry, if you can just keep it down a little bit. Everybody in here, just a little tiny bit. Okay, so here we are. And Eric Lee did play knight e5, bishop e5, knight g4, bishop f4.
Maybe I should have rushed in here. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
So White's bishop is leading a retreat. Can Black seize the moment and play find a forcing continuation? Bishop f6, then e5, and then h3. So I'm not sure that what Black is accomplishing here. We're going to find out. If White can play a d5 and start pushing the black pieces back, maybe not d5 yet, but after, getting the knight off of g4. There's a dynamic, and then there's the fact that Black is a pawn ahead. So we'll see. We have Stearman, who won his game after a horrendous blunder on his opponent's part, earlier blundered a piece. Ivanov Chambers, we were at this position. Let's go now, and Chambers is repositioning the knights, and Ivanov is throwing his pawns up in an attack. I think this position, White's got the space and everything, but the position's gotten a bit dull without the knights, the pair of knights on the board. Somewhat dull. Not easy to play for Black. Not easy to play. White's still enjoying a nice space advantage. Okay. Elliot Winslow versus Egbert David Askin. Elliot Winslow, Queen f6 was played, h3, and now knight d3. And Black has won the exchange. Something went wrong here, and I think it was the fact that White didn't realize that knight d3 was a threat.
I'm thinking maybe
Queen f6 was maybe a good move, and maybe it was time for White to retreat the bishop at f4 to c1 or something like that.
okay, let's go to cheap moves.
Interesting. So instead, White plays the h3 move, which turns out to overlook this shot. Knight d3, the wily veteran Elliot Winslow Knight d3.
I'm saying so after you take that as a pawn.
Bishop e3. I mean, okay, if you know, obviously, if rook d3, knight d3, queen d3, queen d4, and but this is just white has just given up the exchange.
I could have.
And retained some practical chances, but that's about it. Yuck. Okay, looks like a big mistake. Elliot is in the driver's seat. This game was a forfeit win. Childress versus Davila. We have women's FIDE master Natalia Sodakova. We left in this position, where we thought black had a pretty good game here. And white has blundered on h3 and has blundered 2 pawns, 3 pawns to try to get an attack here. This is definitely wrong. White had no reason to do this whatsoever. This was a 3-pawn sacrifice. All right, let's go back here, folks, and try to repair the damage. First of all, here, white could play queen f3. There's no reason to panic. Well, maybe queen e1 check? Yikes. Queen f1? No, you're right. Queen h4, queen f3 does not work. White's already made a mistake here, and maybe it was rook g2 here. Well, it's like we said, black had a good position, and it got quickly bad for white. 1 pawn, 2 pawns, 3 pawns. White's going for on a cheap attack here. I think it's cheap. I'm giving black a big plus here, and all black, I think, needs to do is consolidate, and he'll be in the driver's seat. All right, I'm going to turn back to all the players here in the Skittles room, because I'm shouting to hear myself, but that's okay. It's the threat is stronger than the execution. They kind of quietened down. All right. I think white's got to prove that he has something. All right, Michael Walter versus Adrian Kondakov. We left at this position and thinking that white was better.
You take it and just be up. Take it first.
Fortunes have changed a bit here. Can white play rook e1? I'm not sure that white should have done the knight e3 business. Let's go back here.
Yeah, well, that's just a rough draft.
I can understand it. Maybe rook c1 was possible. Okay, guys, let's keep it down to a dull roar. Let's keep it down to a dull roar. Okay. This is life in a chess club, though. Life in an active chess club where things are happening, things are changing all the time. I kind of like the way this is turning out for black. Pass c pawn. Knight's going to be very strong placed on b6, where it's supporting c4 and attacking d5. I'm not convinced that white's played this very well. All right, let's move on here. Gaffigan has sacrificed, the last we looked, this beautiful sacrifice. We thought it was beautiful. So, queen b3, knight c7. I mean, white will be nicely placed with probably with a rook and 2 pawns. Manas Paldi says says hi to me, and I say, hi, Honest. And hi, Iran. Is that the Iran that set us up today? What an incredible job he's done for the chess club. I think we're going to be seeing the Mechanics Institute. Yeah, he did leave. He was here all day helping us set up for Thursday, and now he's gone. But he'll be back tomorrow. I invited him actually to join me here, but I think he had other fish to fry. We're going to be broadcasting the Thursday rapid event here, and it's going to be a little quieter. We'll be broadcasting from the office. Carlos forfeited his game to Jason Childress today, so that's what happened in Carlos's game. We're sorry to hear that. White retains good chances here. Maybe Queen B3, maybe Knight C7.
But you studied.
No, he did not play at all. Carlos did not play. This happens sometimes. People don't show up for the games. Finally, on board 10, we have National Master Russell Wong versus up-and-coming expert Ethan Boldy. And rather typical kind of formation that set up the idea of Bishop A6, which White saw. And the question is, it's a Thursday night class. Call teachers Thursday night class.
Thursday. What time do you toast?
It's 5:30, but it's not going to be this Thursday because we're having the rapid tournament here.
Is there a fee?
No, it's free for mechanics members. Free Thursday class here. The first 3 Thursdays of the month, I give a class where if you're a mechanics member, you can come into the club and we'll look at your games. We'll, try to be kind, but we're not always kind. We say what we're actually sometimes kind of merciless. Players bring in their games, and some of them are old-time chess players that have been sort of playing and making. Let me say it, making the same mistakes for decades. And we're trying to sort of correct those mistakes, and it's. I think it's working. It's fun. It's a good class. It's really fun. There's a lot of feedback, a lot of immediate feedback. I don't pull any punches, and I think the players who come and show their games are appreciative of that. I personally really enjoyed teaching that class. So come by on a Thursday. The world is welcome. And so anyway, I guess if Rook C8, Knight E1, and then A3, and the black pieces get pushed back. So maybe black should dive in right away with Knight D3 or something. I'm not sure. All right, so let's continue to oscillate back between games. Here again, this is just pressure from White on black here. That knight on C6 is just a beast, as they say. And it's going to be difficult for black to coordinate some counterplay here. Knight B6. So, on black's, furthermost on black's plate here is probably does not want to lose any material with Knight B4 at some point. In an endgame, it's going to have to find some way to play around here. White's enjoying a big plus, I think, here. Let's go to board 2. Tenzing Shaw versus Eric Lee. Eric Lee is the strongest 11-year-old chess player in the United States, and we're honored to have him playing chess here in the Tuesday night marathon. He already has drawn Grandmaster Patrick Wolf, and I'm not sure what his other results are. Let's see. He is tied for second place with 4.5 points behind Conrado Diaz, who has 5. So Eric Lee, Tenzing Shaw, and Andy Lee, the 2 Lees, all have 4.5 points, and right behind Conrado Diaz. So, if he can play tenaciously and contain Tenzing Shaw's sort of aggressive position here, what should white do? Okay, knight e3 is an idea for black. Maybe queen d2. And if bishop f4, taking, of course, with the rook or the pawn or something like that. Still a tense position where black has an extra pawn. Okay, so onward. Well, we know that game was ended in equipment for black, and Ivanov versus Chambers. And let's see what's happened in this game. Queen d2, a5, castles, knight c5, h4, a4. Both players are sort of building up here. That was a little stupid. G5. White's playing H5 and G6 probably. Takes. One. Check. So, well, if knight d5, knight e4. So my guess is that white's going to take back with the c pawn, and then black's going to play queen a5 or something like that, and queen b4 or a3, and or possible knight b3 check. So there's a lot of tactics here. Now white hasn't yet exactly broken through on the king side, so this is a difficult position. It could go anyway, as usual. Let's go back to Elliot Winslow's game, and Elliot won the exchange earlier, as we saw. And knight g5 looks like a strong move, with the idea of playing knight f3 check or knight takes h3 check. I mean, white's loath to play bishop takes g5, of course, because that would exchange another pair of pieces. What happens on f4? If knight h3 check, king h2. So that's not clear if white plays f4. Perhaps knight takes e4, but then knight takes e4. So there, and then I move my queen on that diagonal. Right. So Elliot Winslow, what are you going to play on f4, knight h3 check, king h2? That's smart because you're trading down your fours ahead. We'll have to find out. We're going to have to find out, folks. On board, we had a forfeit win on board. I think that's board 7. And no, this is board 7. That was board 6. And Natalia is not having too much trouble here. She is up 3 pawns. If white doesn't crash through, which is a very unlikely with all of black's centralized pieces, then this is going to be a win for black. And black also is the one on the attack here. So this has been a complete failure on white's part, I think. Walter versus Kondakov. There's various weak pawns here. Can white collect that c3 pawn? That's what white needs to do here. Collecting the e4 pawn would be nice too, but that's not as important as figuring out what's going to happen with the c3 pawn. I'm liking black here, unless white can find a way to nullify the c3 pawn. I don't know. It's still complicated. I mean, the e4 pawn is going, and then we're going to have to see what happens. I mean, rook e4 here. King f2 is a cool-headed move. So now probably knight b6 or rook c5, and the game goes on. Knight f6 is not possible. G5. Okay, complicated still, and that's not a cop out, folks. Although it is a bit of a cop out. Gaffigan. Let's see what's going on with this game. Gaffigan is still thinking, and I don't blame him. I mean, this is a complicated position. If you play queen b3, maybe knight d4 or something like that, so things have to be calculated exactly. I mean, let's see. Let's analyze some variations here. Knight c7, queen c7, queen g7, queen d7, rook g7, king moves, rook b7. I mean, that just looks very close to winning. Rook and 3 pawns, folks. Yeah, I'm not really sure. I mean, players can sometimes overthink these positions, but knight c7 looks extremely, just a simple knight c7 and queen g7 check. Looks, you know, I don't know. If I was Steven, that would be the first thing I'd be looking at. We're back here where white covered with knight e1, and now it's a question of can black act quickly enough before white starts repelling the black pieces out and completing his development and maybe being able to target d5. That's asking a lot. I mean, I think if black plays simply, you know, something like d6, he's probably well on his way to, you know, d6, a3, knight c6, if bishop d5, d5, if ed6, queen d6. Black is doing fine here. And that's just analyzing a couple of variations. Andy Lee is still thinking about what to do against Conrado here. He's got a nice plus, but he has to be exact here. Bishop f3 looks like it may be a possible holding move. It's tricky. It's tricky. If I was white, I wouldn't mind seeing, you know, a pair of rook, maybe both pairs. I don't know what pieces to exchange here. This is not an easy position. White's on top. White's got pressure, but the game. Obviously, Andy Lee is looking more deeply into the position. Here's the other Lee. And this is tensing, is just trying to blow Eric Lee off the board. I mean, that's what's happening now, because there was a chance for white right here, I think, to play very quietly with queen d2, sort of a positional move. Instead, d5. Open up the, I mean, that opens up the long diagonal for black. It opens up all kinds of tactical possibilities. But maybe it opens up some tactical possibilities for white too. Again, this is sort of striking while the iron is hot and the black king is uncastled. Check. If queen b6, let's analyze some variations. I mean, queen b6 check, king to rook 1. Knight f2 check definitely doesn't work there. Rook f2, queen f2, bishop g5 is simple enough. If black plays bishop f4 first, rook f4, and then plays knight f2, rook f2, queen f2, d6. and white has 2 pieces for a rook.
Here's where you
I mean, black has some, can play rook d8 or something, or f takes e6,
better
but
off taking that plan.
we may get into another rook and pawn versus 2 pieces imbalance here.
Yeah, because this one.
This should work for white somehow. I mean, with all the, with the undeveloped, with black's pieces kind of all hanging and white having completed his development, I somehow want this to work for white and feel like it should work for white. The tactics may not bear me out, but that's my gut. That's where I'm going on my gut with this. So, and Eric Lee is thinking, and so this is a complicated position. Could very well go into time pressure, and we're just going to have to see what happens. Let's go back to this game here, where Ivanov has taken with the c pawn and queen a5 has happened. But I think black has gotten some things going here, which white might have tried to short circuit somehow earlier, but white's playing all out, and with this kind of kingside play, but white has yet to prove that he's going to play h5 and g6 obviously, but it's going to get wild here. Black's going to play bishop d7 and a3 and play one of the rooks on c8, or black might bishop d7 and b5 or b5 right away, and this is. I tend to, again, it's prejudice. I kind of like black here. White seems just a couple of moves late with this play.
Quite honest.
And black is developing more and more tactical possibilities. Queen b4, lots of ideas. Okay.
That's where you lost.
Just throwing out unsupported opinions. Tuesday night marathon. And let's see, we were looking at this. King h2 was played. Unfortunately, I think, and this is just. I think black's getting all he wants here, whether this works out. Hi, Bruce, what happened?
I lost.
Yeah. I think, you can sit down and tell us what happened. It looked to me like you self-destructed. And Natalia, well, I'm going to go back to your game. We're going to look at your game right now. This was, to me, okay, so I'm going to give you my opinion here. We're going to go back to, let's go here. And this old variation that black's playing.
Yeah, I haven't studied 97 in a while. So
I think it's a Kara's move.
Yeah, Kara's. It's the Kara's variation.
It's Kara's variation. I don't know if it's popular now.
No, I was out of book at this point, so I
think you can play knight f1 or g5. Now, this is the first move that, I don't know any book, so you're going to probably find out, or you at home.
Well, I don't either.
So my one thing in these positions, sometimes you move the knight to play f4. You're sort of developing black a little bit when you play this way. And then, and again, maybe here knight f1 with the idea of regrouping a little bit and then playing, and then throwing out f4 as possible. What happens is you fall behind, interestingly enough, you've fallen behind a little bit in development. And, and I like this move of Natalia's, bishop h4.
I actually had seen it, but I missed bishop g3 after that. And now I really didn't want to play f5, but...
Rook f1 looks like a possibility here.
Yeah,
So
I
what-
mean, maybe. I mean, the plan is obviously to play e5. If she does nothing, I want to play e5 and push in the center. So this is why I wanted to keep my rook on the e file.
Yeah, I think what you're seeing is superior black development, and is sort of making life difficult for you here. Do you know what I mean? That you've kind of fallen behind in development, and what happens is unless I know the book, which I don't, the first move I'm going to blame is knight e5, because that develops back, right? And f4 turns out to be kind of not effectual. So maybe you could, I'm not sure what you could play here. Possibly knight h2 with the idea of playing f4. You could also maybe play knight f1, and if knight f3, queen f3, knight e5, then you can go back with the queen and then think about playing f4. So knight e5, and f4, again, that might just be a little too ambitious.
Maybe it is.
It might be too ambitious here. And bishop h4 is a nice move. Knight h4, going for the two bishops, but then queen h4 and f4.
It's too weak.
And if rook f1, then black could play bishop h3 and has a draw right off the bat, and that's not a good result for white, right? I mean, that bishop h3 just forces a draw. You've lost the advantage of the first move. If black can do that, even if black does something else, that's a failure on white's part. So interestingly enough, okay, so rook e2 is played, and then bishop g3 is strong, and this position. This is a good position for black. I mean, I think it's a good position for black. And optically it looks good because you have all this, you have what's going on. But you made things worse for yourself. I think maybe if you had stopped and said, what can I do to make, I've got to play maybe rook b1 and get my bishop out, and then think about, just trying to catch up in development. And what happened was this, which I think is a weakening on your, it just weakens your position.
Well, I thought my only advantage, my only plus in the position was my extra space on the king side.
But I think
and the fact that I can bring. It's hard for me to understand what you mean. Like he had, like I'm saying, has one piece developed, right?
Right, but coming out is bishop g7 and queen h4, right? Is like I can see it. It's like
okay, bishop g7. What is like this?
Well, it
like black's light square bishop is also pretty dead, right? At this point, the rook is not coming. It seems to me like the position is pretty locked. Like the position is not going to open up anytime soon.
Black has an advantage here, and the reason is the e file. That bishop on e5 is completely dominant, and if that bishop is exchanged for your light square, for your folks, for your this is for everybody back home as well. So if you manage to play bishop d2, bishop c3, and bishop e5, then the rook is going to appear on. A black rook is going to appear on e5, and you're left with this bishop versus the other bishop.
Certainly.
So this position, to my mind, to my view, is favoring black. Now, what if I were you, I like your idea of expanding on the king side, but you need to catch up in development. There's nothing you're going to be able to do as long as you're far behind, as you're behind in development. And what I'm seeing is you need to play b1 maybe and bishop to e3 or something like that. Of course, black is going to play queen h4 H4 and Queen G3. So you have to find a way to kind of, stop that as well. So let's try to do that. Play Rook B1, Queen H4, Queen D3 maybe to prevent Queen H3. To prevent, but you see, you're having difficulties. Your position has difficulties, I think, which I think that G4 is not, and but this is a calm move. Although I'm not sure what you would have done on Queen H. Well, Queen H4 would have,
No, I thought Queen H5 here was. I would have played maybe Queen D3.
This is criminal.
Okay.
This is like 30 minutes.
But actually, maybe I missed that. I wanted to play Rook G2 and then.
Well, that's what happened with G2, Queen H4.
I missed.
But now
that.
you can't play Queen F3.
Yeah, I missed that after Queen F3, Queen E1, Queen F1 has
Bishop
D4 check, winning the queen.
And so this is the problem that you're having. You're behind in development, and Black has this dominant bishop on E5. And it's just a difficult position. If you had Bishop D2 and Rook E1 in and could play Queen F3 here, then I would say maybe you'd be okay, and you could try to untangle, play G5, Rook G4, all the things that you wanted to. But the dynamics of the position are in Black's favor. The lead in development and the control of E5.
I agree with you. It seemed to me like Black has this positional advantage. This is what I was trying to force a little bit. Actually, do you mind going back 2 moves and two half moves? And I was thinking, after Bishop D7, I was just looking at G5
maybe
G5,
yeah.
Because G5 now
locks
she cannot play Queen H4, and so maybe.
Right, I think maybe you're right, and maybe Natalia should have played Queen H4 here.
But now it's not that powerful because now I have Queen D3 and she doesn't have Queen E1.
But still, that queen sitting on H4 is a nice place for the queen. And you're absolutely right. After Bishop D7, G5 looks like a good move on your part, and that that prevents, and then you can build up.
Yeah. I'm wondering.
Good call. G5, keeping the queen out. So this was the critical moment. I think you're right, Bruce.
Yeah, I think
and Queen H4, and now the pawns are falling. And
now it's all downhill. And so, starting this moment, I was just trying to see if I could sacrifice all my pawns on the king side and somehow get something. But
it's not going to happen.
I had to be careful about queen d4 check, trading queens. And so, I just thought the mate was cute, so I gave it to her.
She's a good player, but I think you could have. You're absolutely right. After Bishop D7, G5 would have been the right move. It's interesting that she didn't play Queen H4 after G4. Black should play Queen H4 and get the queen outside and get the queen into the game right away.
I think one of the worst things about my game, in general, not this one, is that whenever I do something bad, like I miss something or like, for example, I didn't know the opening too well, and so I missed Bishop G3 and I ended up in this bad situation where I didn't want to have my pawn the light squares. My mental focus just drops, and I almost give up already.
Right.
And I end up in this mode where just I go all in immediately. And this is very hard to fight this psychological thing.
No, I think we're all aware of that. You have to. The thing about the best chess players is objectivity. They're objective all the time. They maintain their objectivity. And when defending, they put up as much resistance as possible. Always. Throw. Somebody's chasing you with a knife. You throw chairs. Do whatever you can to put up resistance. And the stronger you are as a chess player, the more you'll sort of be aware that you have to do that. That there's that the alternative alternative is to do what you and I do, which is like to go out in a blaze of glory, and it's not, it's not really as it's not what we should be doing here. We should be maintaining that objectivity that Carlson and all those other guys have in spades. They're very, very objective.
Yeah, especially Carlson. I think
Carlson is the most objective of all.
He seems to be the most objective of all times. I think his style is very, very. Right. I mean, maybe it's because of the computers that world champions of the past didn't have. But right. He seems to play a little bit like a computer.
It's funny you should say that. I'm not sure about Carlson. I've heard that he doesn't like playing computers. Of course, he says they're like they play chess like an idiot that always beats you. Which I think is a great analogy, actually. So playing a computer is like playing an idiot that always beats you, and so he's smart not to play computers. Also, he's not playing computers; he's playing human beings. So he has to learn how to play against human beings, and the way to play against human beings is to be somewhat dispassionate and to play, to take it, to realize that humans are going to make human errors, and to be as controlled as possible and to take advantage of that. And Carlson seemed to be very good at that.
Yeah, he's excellent at that. And
Fischer was very good at that too. He was also played like, and the players said that about Fischer, that he was machine-like, that he was, and Fischer always said that the best psychology is a good chess move.
Yes,
and Fischer was the first player to do what Carlson now does all the time, which was to play out simple positions. Show me that you know how to draw me. I'm a great player. Show me that you know how to draw this. So Fischer kind of set the tone. This tonality of being objective and playing chess like that.
Trying to get the back rank stuff.
Maybe there were players. Of course, there are players like that before. Players with styles like that, like Capablanca and Karpov, but Karpov was after Fischer. And I think Karpov, as Kasparov said, sort of took Fischer's way of playing and was more exact. So the players, there was a kind of a sloppiness about people's play before Fischer, where they sort of got away with things that they couldn't get away with once Fischer became dominant. So, well, thank you, and you're welcome to sit here. I'm going over the players' games. That was we're here, this is a club environment. We're here to sort of learn. I'm really glad, I don't need grandmasters sitting next to me to know that this was a terrible chess move or a great chess move. And my commentary is kind of being aimed at club players, and we're all learning here, and we can learn from the games of very strong players, and we can learn games from weaker players, the rest of us, grandmasters and the rest of us. This is Diaz is playing black here and trying to hold this position, but it looks like he's winning a pawn against Andy Lee.
What was that about?
I think it's the best way to fork your problem.
What was the previous move? Bishop G3?
Yeah, I'm just going to look at this position for a second.
Is there a trick here?
Here, protect F2. This is
White is in danger of losing all of his advantage, or maybe has already lost.
I don't see anything. It looks like if he wasn't such a strong player, I would say he blundered the pawn, like I would have.
Okay, well, Bruce, this is another piece of advice that I'm going to give to players. You're in the expert rating rank, right?
Hey, I'm 19. How about?
So, players below Super Grandmaster are not as infallible as you may think. And when the comment that you just made about, if you didn't have such a high rating is not the one that you want to have when you play these guys, because they're actually quite beatable. And myself included in that. It's very possible for a player like Andy Lee to just make horrible moves, and I saw this with Tenzing Shaw's game we were analyzing his game, and he was playing Andy Lee, and he just made a bunch of horrible moves and just lost
the king
pawn and the king and pawn ending. I mean, we're talking about a very strong Tenzing Shaw, strong master. So there's a lot of there's a gap in chess knowledge that these guys have as well, and having a 2350 rating does not mean that you're infallible. And it does look to me like Andy Lee has lost thread here of this game. Let's take a look. EF4, bishop f4, knight b6. Okay, so I was looking at this position. I was saying White's got some technical difficulty. White's better, but has some technical difficulties. Black could possibly be threatening bishop rook e2. There's penetration on the e file. There's knight c4 and knight e3 as a possibility. White has static advantages. The two bishops, the strong knight on c6, the cramping pawn on d5. But there are dynamic issues at work here. And so what happened was this kind of, rook he1. Now that's good up to a point, I think, because after rook takes e1, rook takes e1, Black probably can't take on d5 now, although I'm not 100% sure. But Black plays a safe move first, rook c8, and now there's this issue of the d5 pawn.
You can't even play rook d1 because it's still hands.
If knight e7 check, bishop e7, rook e7, knight d5, and there's a fork. You're even getting your rook and your bishop forked. So it looks like White sort of failed to. Let's see what happened here. Bishop g3. That's sort of getting out of the fork, but then the pawn hangs.
Yeah, now, looks like Black is better. Black is just at the pawn. And this knight
I tend to agree with you.
The knight's almost trapped, and it's not trapped. It always come back, but it looks like he's going to have to play a move like knight b4, knight e4.
Yeah, or knight d4 and knight f5 and try to regain the pawn on d6 or something like that. But this is not very convincing on White's part at all. And maybe back here there were difficulties to be solved, but it doesn't look like rook e1 was the way to solve them. Maybe bishop f3 preventing rook e2 was the way to go. I'm not going to go any further because we have other games to look at. I'm going to just say this game where this was really great, d5, and I'm tensing, just trying to go straight for back here, I was saying that queen d2 was a quiet move, maybe to try to play the position. But White's trying to take advantage of the fact that Black is not castled and has various pieces hanging. So rook f4, I would guess rook takes f4 here. And then let's see, queen b6 check.
The rook being hit, so you're going to have to defend it.
King h1, and now if knight f2 check, rook f2, queen f2, d takes e6, that's probably good for White. I would say, probably.
Maybe you don't even go queen b6. Maybe you.
Rook f4, black can play 93 right away, but then queen d4, and suddenly g7 is hanging, and
but
the knight
d4,
at e3 is
hanging. Queen b6 now.
Well, okay. So rook f4, knight e3, queen d4, queen b6. All right, I just trade queens and play d takes e6.
Oh. Yeah, of course.
I mean, black might have to take a rook for 2 pieces at some, that looks like something that might end up happening anyway. If rook f4, I think black should play queen b6 check king h1, because then now you could play knight e3. And everything is kind of defended. But then queen d2, and it's a very, very, very tense position. We're going to let this game go on. I'm not really quite sure what happens now after rook f4, queen b6, king h1, and then maybe possibly knight e3. Queen d2, c d5. Whoa. If I was black, I would feel uncomfortable about opening the position up with my king in the center, but I might be.
Can't white play maybe e6 here, maybe?
Well, then bishop e3 check, and you're going to probably end up, and then the queens come off.
Yeah, you're right.
Well, maybe that's possible too, because you can always take back with a knight. So d takes e6, bishop e3 check, king h1. Now knight f2 check.
Congratulations.
Really good take.
Rook f2, bishop f2, but then white might be getting an attack with queen h. E takes f7 check. I don't know. Let's move on.
He's probably calculating that because I don't think he can calculate g takes f4. He's probably not thinking about g takes
Let's see
f4.
this one variation where I thought it was an
Chambers. Let's look at this game. Ivanov Chambers. I thought this game was going in black's way. This looked too slow for white, and now black is creating all kinds of problems here. If b3, can black play knight b3 and a2? Maybe.
Interesting. Knight b3, 2, king c2, maybe. Oh no, king c2. Oh yeah, king c2. That's not even enough. King b2 you have to play, I guess.
No, I guess king c2 is possible.
King c2, a1, no? The pawn is defending. The pawn is defended 2 times, no?
So okay.
Knight c6.
A3, b3.
E3.
E3, knight b3.
AB.
b3, a2.
King c2.
King c2, a1.
Rook takes a1.
Oh, sorry, the queen is first. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Interesting. That might be good if you hadn't already given up your knight, but it's not good because you've already given up your knight. So what is Chambers going to play here after white plays b3? Because I'm not sure that knight b3, a b, a2, king c2.
Maybe bishop d7.
Maybe bishop d7 first after b3.
The problem is you can't play bishop a4 because the knight is here, but maybe you still go and after knight takes, queen takes. The problem is, I think if black could bring his bishops into the game, that would be great, but the dark square bishop is blocked and the light square bishop doesn't have too many diagonals.
Oh, sorry, yeah, bishop g4.
Interesting.
Another game with various tactical possibilities. Here's this sad game. I'm sorry, but
why sad?
Well, white's given up the exchange, but white's got some play for it. So,
yeah, I don't like being down the exchange against Elliott. That never ends very well.
No.
How would you do that kind of trade, though?
I have club member Bruce Ricard with me, and he's going over the games with me. And he just he lost his game tonight to woman FIDE master Natalia Sodakova, a very strong player in her own right. But we're all learning something here. Let's take a look at this game. Walter versus Kondakov.
Yeah, I was looking at you were just playing just next to me. Interesting. Now rook here. Oh, you didn't take the pawn. I guess. Interesting.
Let's see. If rook d3, rook b5.
b5. 1, 2, 3,
So
5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4. Looks like white is a little bit better here. Maybe a little bit.
Right. He kept playing.
White's trying to just surround this pawn.
I don't.
Yeah, I don't know.
Calculate it differently.
Maybe rook a5. Oh, he came here. Sure. Okay.
He's still not going to be able to take that pawn without giving up the a pawn. And White's definitely going to be better here. I mean, there's no doubt about it. If White plays king d3 now, rook a5, rook c2, rook a4, and then rook c7, I mean, White has all the chances in that position.
Even though Black stronger, no?
Well, I'm saying now Black plays rook a5, rook c2, rook a4. Okay, rook c6 is possible, but rook c7 confining the rook, confining the king right away.
And maybe rook d7 after, or rook a7. Yeah.
White has all the play here, folks, and it's going to be a difficult defense for.
Look at the time, though.
Yeah,
White has less than 20 minutes,
and that's always Michael Walters' problem. Always, winning positions. He's a master, plays the game like a master, and then he gets into time pressure and plays like a B player. So I know these players, folks. That's a club. The club issue here.
Yeah, that's it. It's better for White. It's interesting.
Yeah, definitely better for White, even though Black has the path pawn. All right, let's see. Gaffigan. This was Gaffigan. I was recommending knight c7, which he played, and then the simple, and now b7. Okay, so maybe Black has knight d4 after rook b7. He's gonna then king g2 or something.
What are you scared of here? Sorry, I didn't get that. What's wrong with rook a7? What did I miss?
b7.
Oh, knight d4. Sorry, I didn't. Knight d4.
Maybe knight d4.
Yeah, knight d4. Yeah.
I mean, maybe White should play e3 here. I mean, White has a winning chance.
Knight d4. What about like just rook c2?
Knight d4 again. Yeah, rook c2 is possible.
Sorry, knight d4, not rook c2. Sorry.
Rook c2 is possible, and if knight d4, rook g2. White has all the advantages here. Still, it's a game. I mean, Black has two pieces, but White has the rook and 2 pawns. So I like White, but Black has chances. All right, and down to this game, which has progressed a lot. Okay.
Calculated the exchange.
If I had been Black here, I would have played d6.
I'd trade off.
I know. That's what I
I think this bishop, there's no point in retreating here. And
he drops to the pawn if he doesn't retreat. The pawn on d5.
Yeah, but you're going to regain it by playing d takes e5.
I see.
I think.
Maybe that was his fear.
Okay, so now you can play d6.
I felt like there was an attack.
Ooh, interesting.
Okay. I'm not sure that I think this is a dynamic way to play. Okay, well, it might be. I mean, White has to defend the knight. And then d takes e5.
That's what I did.
Wow, I like it.
Yeah, but then I saw something.
I kind of like it. Rook d3, rook e1, say d takes e5, and Black is developing some counterplay.
How about knight d5? Is that crazy?
Loses. Bishop takes d5, and you can't even take back.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, White has to defend this knight.
Yeah.
Or play knight f1 or something,
knight f1.
and then play king h1 as soon as you can. So Black's gotten a lot of play here.
Over here.
Whether it's sufficient, we'll find out. Black is down to 16 minutes. So there's some time disparity here in some of these games.
Thank you, Paul.
Thank you, Bruce. Good luck on your next game. All right, we'll go back up to board one, where FIDE Master Andy Lee is playing Conrado Diaz, and there's been what I thought was really, and now 97. What is going on here? Natalia, I saw that you won your game.
Finally.
Yeah.
No.
Good. Well, show us your game. We just saw Bruce here.
Right.
And
what did he say?
He said he tried to find excuses, but there was none.
So he decided to end misery.
Let's try to find. I'm going to try to put your name up here because I'm becoming down. I'm trying to find your name so I can put your name up here. There you are. And then, okay. So I'm getting a little bored with myself, so I'm really glad you're here. And I'm actually going to take a bath, go to the restroom, and you can give your opinion. This is a very strange game where
I think it's like White wants to do draw.
Maybe White wants to draw at this point.
Because you think that the knight doesn't have any squares to go to, right? So if you go like rook c7, but then I'll take on d5 and go rook e8.
Yeah.
And then on d6 kind of hanging. So,
right. So it looks like White's playing for a draw now. He's lost a pawn and is just running around with the knight.
And I believe if rook goes on the a8, so I'll go back on c6 or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, or b8.
Well, so what happens on rook a8?
No, on rook a8, I'll go back knight c6.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and there's danger on the long diagonal. Black's uncoordinated.
Right, so it's hard to materialize the extra pawn.
I think Diaz was very lucky here in a way. He had a very cramped game.
I feel like he might have an advantage after the opening.
I think it was
like they have more space and they're more active pieces. So
it was right here that White couldn't find maybe.
And they had two bishops.
Maybe White should play bishop f3 or something like that here.
Yeah.
So I'm just like,
but then, I don't know.
But on the other hand, it's hard to materialize the advantage. I mean, it's hard to find any concrete.
Deceptive position. Can you provide some commentary until I get back?
Where do you see? Where do you see?
Okay, here's how you select the games.
Okay.
Yeah, and then you can just go down and you can look at your game all night long if you want.
Okay, where's my game? My game is here.
Yeah.
Okay, but you just
No, we'll look at it again. I want your opinion about, especially about the opening. Was Kara's line and
right? Yeah. You can. So this is.
You can go back and forth. Like that, or.
Yeah, I believe this is the second time, right, we met. Like, we used to play, like, in previous tournament, and it was a draw, so we didn't get a lot of...
Oh, so you've played...
Yeah, I played Bruce before.
Okay.
So, and it was also, I was black at that game.
It was a briar variation.
Yeah, it was briar variation. Sometimes I play, like, Janish, how do you pronounce Janish Gambit? Like, when you...
Oh, yeah.
So basically, when I was young, so it was my main...
I've played that too, yeah.
You played it too?
The Gambit.
Right, the Gambit.
Which Gambit is that?
Schliemann, they call it.
I mean, I know how to...
Yeah.
I know how to pronounce it in Russian. I'm not sure how.
Janish?
Janish? Like, it's spelled like J-A...
I've heard it called that. And the Schliemann.
Yeah. Schliemann's in my name. I mean, I don't know.
Right, F5.
Yeah, like F5, it was my... So, were you prepared for 5?
I'll be right back.
I I mean,
I'll be right back.
You played
not
before?
not particularly for this game.
But in general.
In general, I know a little bit.
Yeah.
I try to know a little bit about everything, but there are lots of lines in the real bit.
I feel like people who doesn't know like F5, the theory, but anyway, they usually go D3, and they're like sometimes the position like concrete, but there is not many lines that sometimes even like black go like on the edge of losing, it's like because their king is quite open, like with F5 and then D3 and
like in the main line, it's white is just a pawn. I think in the main line, like white end up taking on E5 and you can take back and
right.
I don't
so
know.
you mean F5 you
F5 D3
D3 right? So that's but I thought like usually people it's like the most popular line. So I was choosing between this and the other thing. So that and the classical way that I played. So I decided, okay, let's go, a little more like whole way. And I looked at this at home.
He loses concentration very quickly in the games.
So this is all theory. So it's like standard moves.
It's not very well. It's
And bishop e7, rook e1. So you are not afraid of martial dark either, right? So because you allow this.
Yeah.
I thought for a moment maybe because I remember even the previous game you also allowed this, and I said but then I've never played it.
But that's why I'm not afraid.
Because F5 I used to play a lot, especially when I was young, so I kind of know the theory. But this one I never played. But I kind of because on previous game you allowed this, and I said okay, maybe it's gonna happen. This is what crossed my mind. Maybe I should.
I know a little bit the martial too, so I'm not too afraid of it.
Okay. Yeah. So then.
But I just D3, H3.
So these are also standard moves, not to prevent the bishop G4, right? And this is also like one of the main.
I don't remember how it's called. It's one of the main lines. Yes. C5. I was pretty sure the main line is D5 here. Or maybe D3, I don't...
No, D4, that's the main move. D4 is the main move.
That's what I remember.
And here I decided to play...
So the Keres variation?
Yeah, the Keres variation. There is one of the ways that you can move D5 here right away. Mm-hmm. Because, and then game can continue like knight B6 and F5, and then you go knight D2. So there's a different game after D5. So it's more like it's not like good for black or black. It's like typical Spanish. One of the game, one of the variations in the Spanish. So, but I kind of liked wherever because when you go knight D2,
but he played it.
you kind of allow this because it's looks like a Benoni structure in a way because you
So you think knight D2 is not is a bad move?
I mean, I was more like uncomfortable
with D5?
D5 because I thought, okay. I mean, I looked at this at home.
Oh, okay.
So I'm honest here. So I looked at this at home, and basically here, you played like the main moves with how the theory goes. So it's like they play D5 here. So I was not sure if you don't go D5, but I don't have any prepared. I don't look, maybe you can go like knight F1 or something like that. But I'm not sure. But on the other hand, I would go bishop F6 or something like that. I don't know. So but you made the moves that are main moves. I don't know whether I didn't really explore other moves. moves whole.
Oh, okay, okay.
I said, okay, you can't get prepared like every single move, right? So you need to like
prepare something.
Prepare something, but then at some point you need to play and calculate it, of course. So I was not really prepared for the other moves, but you play the main moves, and this is the reply. Also, like here, maybe you also the main move to take on 5, but I'm not sure. Maybe you can try some other moves.
Paul was saying maybe H2 and then F4.
Here.
But
again, I thought for about 20 minutes and found this.
Yeah, I also was not prepared for this. So you kind of following my preparation all the way. All the way you're following I was happy to see these moves. But, I mean, it's like natural moves that you did, right? Yeah, so it's not like really fancy, but natural. That's why the main line.
Yeah, Paul criticized knight E4. He 95 here. He said.
Yeah, maybe because this knight is not very active.
But it's the same thing. My knight on D2, right? So I was thinking, okay, I'm bringing your knight up, but then I'm gonna play F4. You're gonna have to go back, and then we're gonna play knight F3. I don't know. I saw bishop H4, but my problem was I did bishop G3, and I think after bishop G3, it's not good.
Yeah. So basically, you following my preparation.
Okay.
Better for me. Better for me. But I mean, I didn't have many, analysis of the other moves. But I'm sure maybe knight H2 shouldn't be that good. It's like.
Yeah, I mean, but.
Because at some point I will even if you take if you go F4 I will go knight G6 and maybe E5 and stuff or F5 and
you might be able to play F5 at some point. So I was thinking, okay,
Space Invaders.
Yeah, because if you go knight H2, I might go knight B6 and F4, knight G6.
So let's see, Queen G5.
Or maybe E5. No, I mean I just will E5. Will this one? I mean I need to look for this E5 breakthrough, but I mean I don't know.
F5, you mean?
No, if you go knight H2 and then F4, knight G6, so I need to look out for this E5.
For my
E5, right?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. It is dangerous because then the bishop is activated and my queen.
But
everything can get to the king.
Knight H2, it's also on the rim. It should be that dangerous.
Because maybe after knight H2, I can even play something like queen H5. No. I was trying to play queen H5, but I never got to play it.
I mean, you cannot checkmate with just one queen.
Yeah, but the bishop is on C2, right? And if I play F4 and I play E5, it's maybe I don't know. Maybe it is dangerous in some lines.
Yeah, they're just trying.
No,
I mean, I mean, it's a game. I mean, I'm not sure. I didn't really.
Yeah. Maybe.
Even today, the game, I didn't really think about knight H2, and I mean, maybe it's one of the.
I don't know. Is knight H2, what do you say? You said knight B6?
No, I mean, I'm not sure. You can...
But even when I play F4, you can also play knight G6 anyway.
Yeah, I can play knight G6.
Blocking the diagonals.
Right, and then I maybe will play bishop G5. Then just black squares. So it should be that. I mean, it's not like black is winning, but I don't think that dangerous knight H2 variation. So I don't.
I'm gonna play the game a little bit better.
So you take.
I'll send you a copy of this because seriously.
No, it's a main move, but I mean, maybe.
So is that an actual line?
Yeah.
That's okay. That's an actual line.
So my. No, this is like how my preparation ends here. No, not here, but I mean I know usually people take on H4 because if you go with the rook, then go bishop G3 and then you're forced to go F5, which is
what happened.
Which is very good for black because you're
G3. So I didn't like taking on H4 either.
If you take on H4, then I can take on H3. some point. I mean,
Yeah. There's a lot of things going on.
but this is
This is the main.
yeah, you need to take on h4. Otherwise, like black doesn't have any issues because I force you to go f5 and all your dark squares. Like, even like
To be honest, I was even considering something like bishop e3.
Oh, here.
Yeah, here.
Wow.
I don't know. Maybe it's too bold, but
Yeah, I mean,
I'm gonna have a big lead in development, and I'm gonna have an attack with king 7. It might not be enough for the exchange.
right. I mean,
Probably not.
I would be happy. I mean,
Yeah.
if you take to get an exchange, and your only like hope is like to do e5, right? But then I can
Yeah, it's probably not. It's not. And right on g6.
or even like I can take e1 and then go f5, right? F5, e5. Yeah. I mean, I just need to.
I mean, I think I would have played it a little bit better than
Yeah, bishop e4 is a strong move here. It might be the only move in the position actually, because otherwise white might get some initiative in the center.
Yeah, it doesn't make
It's
any
an important
sense.
move, I think.
Because you would have played it and we were shaking hands.
Well, I can go like I did. No.
I don't know. He like bothers me every time here.
Yeah, maybe.
I got your back.
Aw, thank you.
Bishop f6 might run into e5.
Yeah, e5. Yeah, I don't want to run into e5.
So weird.
I wasn't in the lead until.
But even I don't know. I was not so sure that even if I get e5 in, I would have that much. I mean,
No, that should be.
Yeah, I know.
it's
I
strong,
took
but
the score.
I cannot really push them. So
Oh, I
they're
was
gonna have
there.
to stay there.
It was like amazing.
But it's kind of they gain a lot of space.
Yeah. No, it's long-term position.
Probably like.
But this is like for me like the home preparation paid off, right?
Okay, yeah, I saw you didn't spend too much
Right.
time.
Usually I like I'm trying to get prepared, but usually it doesn't last that long. But you kind of cooperated.
Oh, yeah, I'm very cooperative. Yes.
Yeah, you're very cooperative. So
The last move was very cooperative.
you decided to enter this area.
Yeah. I thought. Yeah, I thought it was cute. So, all right. Instead of resigning, I'll just play.
You cooperated to them. You cooperated, so it's like
I don't think I gained rating points for that.
well, I can credit you 5 points for the cooperation.
I will. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I don't know. Like at this point, I was looking at e5, but I don't think like it's just gonna be down 2 pawns or.
Yeah, I'm gonna take. I would take on f4.
Yes. Yes, and nothing works.
Yeah, I think it's.
So did I.
But actually, something interesting happened like a couple moves later. I think.
Oh, you mean after I played bishop d7?
Yeah. So here we're looking at this, and I completely missed that.
Yeah.
After rook g2, I free the e1 square, and that is a big problem for me. Here we're looking at g5, preventing you from coming to h4. That looks interesting.
Yeah.
g5 here, and
I mean, I would probably play f6.
Yeah. Because I can't.
that looks a little bit scary though, because maybe now I can play rook g2 now. And like h4, and maybe I can bring my queen to g4, and my bishops are active. It looks like I might get an attack here.
Well, thank you.
And you don't have much. Like your bishop is beautiful on e5, but especially if you play e6, f6, it's not defending even anymore.
Yeah, that's for sure the way to go because rook g2 is losing kind of on the spot.
Yeah. It's not good at all. Yeah.
So
rook g2 is a big mistake. G5 looks very interesting. So we were thinking maybe if g5 is strong here, maybe bishop d7 is a mistake, and you should have gone queen h4 right away.
But then here
it's not as powerful because queen h4 not just queen g3 this time.
Yeah, on queen h4, like you can go queen f1.
I was thinking even queen d3, no?
Or queen d3.
Yeah, probably both of those. And maybe I can play bishop d2, bishop e1, and then. Well, maybe.
No, I mean on bishop d3. I mean I can go to endgame. I think it's a little bit better, but I mean it's probably.
It looks.
No.
Well, wait.
Queen d3 is like c4. I can go with the tempo. I'm not sure.
Then queen f3. My point was to get to f3. I kind of like f3. The f3 square. This is why I played rook g2 because I wanted to move my queen to f3 in one move. That was very.
No, but I mean, yeah. But I mean, I can now like you exchange the queens here and then go like.
Oh, after I see.
Yeah.
But do you have
and then?
Oh yeah, okay.
And then go like a5 and stuff like that. Yeah, but this is definitely the way to go. But I'm not sure like what maybe. Yeah, I didn't like queen h4 right now because even like queen f1, you don't have.
You can't exchange queens. I see. You can have rook g2 maybe. No, wait. No, I don't have rook g2. But you still can take on h3. So what?
No.
Mate. It's mate.
No. What?
Well, queen f1.
Queen f1. Queen g3.
Check.
King h1.
Oh, king h1. Of course, king h1. I see king h1.
But maybe it's a good idea because you kind of tied here, right? So
yeah, now maybe I'll be able to move my bishop and play rook g1. Oh no, wait, my king's on f1. Yeah, okay, interesting.
So maybe you can play like bishop e3 and then.
Yes.
And then what?
Yes.
And then what? And then bishop g1 and bishop h2.
It's a lot of bishop.
Yeah, it's a lot. But I mean, bishop h3, like
you can take on b2. Yeah.
Two, right? So.
Take on b2.
Maybe it's like. But for some reason I was not too afraid of I don't know, like g5.
Yeah, maybe we both miss g5 here.
No, I mean I saw like you played g4 with the idea of g5. It's not that I missed here, but I decided to.
But I mean, I wanted to play g5, but I was just not even thinking right away. I wanted to play.
But I think with this, even like g5, f6, I mean with this, like how do you like what next moves you gonna play?
But g5, f6, like rook g2, h4, h5, h6.
Oh.
Looks a little bit scary to me. I don't have the power to calculate really everything, but it looks a little bit scary with the two bishops pointing at you and my queen, my rooks.
No, but I can.
No, you're not. I don't know. I don't think I would be afraid of playing f6. I would think white's attack is pretty strong, but maybe I'm completely wrong.
Maybe not f6, but yeah. I think with the bishop on e5, so what would be your next moves?
Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah, that's why I've spent time here. I wasn't sure, like I saw the queen h4, I didn't. I mean, I like my position, but I couldn't find the exact plan that I wanna. How to react on g4. Maybe queen h4 was the best move here. Just
yeah, maybe.
Yeah, because after this it's completely.
Yeah, this is not good. Yeah.
So
I missed that I left the e1 square free.
Yeah, I cannot defend on h3 basically.
Yeah.
Go that way.
I think you completely lost. So we can. Yeah, there is no. Even though like the queen doesn't have many squares to go to, but on the other hand, like the dark squares, you cannot attack it. You cannot attack it, and basically I want to go like bishop d4 and queen h1, so it's already.
So Oh, I thought, I don't know, I
I've
thought-
already,
yeah. No, I was just trying to,
to create something that
yeah, that doesn't exist. I was thinking maybe even instead of, oh no, I think you have to take the pawn, because if you win d4 check to exchange now, I'm gonna have a strong pawn on e6. So yeah, you have to take on e5, I think.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, and now you're just up 3 pawns, and I'm just pretending like there is something, but I don't think there is anything.
No, there's not anything.
Yeah, no.
And even I thought maybe rook d1, but then I go queen h4, and another rook comes to e8.
Yeah.
And just the next move is
I
going
was
to be
looking
rook
at like
e1.
queen f2, but I don't think that does anything. No, queen f2, you just play rook e8. And,
Yeah.
like I was.
Yeah, I will play rook e8 and make a check on e5. And, it's already lost. The only question was here that maybe I didn't. Not here, here. Maybe d7 not the best, but then
it's more of a game after bishop d7. Like maybe white has a chance of doing something.
Yeah, maybe, but I mean, still, like I was happy with the position. But yeah, of course, it requires some precise moves for black that time to react. I was happy with the position after that because with this bishop on 5, it should be. But I mean, again, it should be.
Yeah, I agree. This bishop.
Even like you need to make like 2 or 3 moves here just to defend all your pawns here. So and just to free up the bishop. So from here. So yeah. So.
All right, I'm going to take my place back.
All right.
Yeah. You've been waiting for you.
Nobody took it.
Yeah.
Ooh, sorry.
Just sitting
I'm
in
going
the
to
back.
I'm going to step on people's toes. And so we were thinking.
Okay. Right. So basically, this is the. I mean, I was happy with the position, and because of the dark squares and bishop on e5. But
maybe you should have played queen h4 right here.
But. Yeah, I was thinking about queen h4, but then I didn't. Yeah, queen f1.
Because after you played bishop d7, maybe g5 was a good move for white.
Right.
And that cuts off the and then they're saying somebody's saying Rob Todd is saying play on the queen side, just play b4, bishop b5, a5, and so start pushing. Okay.
Oh, without bishop d7?
No, I'm with bishop d7. Yeah. So I think you were talking about playing f6, and he's saying don't bother.
Oh, okay.
Whatever. We're getting kibitzers here.
Yeah.
I missed the chat. Sorry, guys.
That's all right.
All right, thank you, Paul.
Okay, thanks again. So, did you go over your game?
Yeah,
all right.
It was like one of the games that Bruce was very cooperative.
Okay.
So I looked at the line at home, and he was following my line. So I didn't look many other moves, side moves.
That's fantastic.
So that's what, now I feel like the
you know how to prepare.
Professional grandmaster, right? Like what they play. So they don't need to think, right? So they follow the home preparation.
Look at this game.
Oh.
Oh, you can't do that.
Oh, what this is Diaz versus. Oh wow. I think it's a good for black, right?
This looks good for. This looks like it's getting better for black.
And what was
although you don't want to lose a lot of queenside pawns.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, let's go back a little bit and go back to here. And white lost a pawn. And then looked like white was trying to draw the game. And black is playing for a win here, I think.
Oh, he didn't take on e5. I thought he will
bishop
take
d5.
Bishop d5.
I guess if bishop d5, maybe rook a7.
Oh, maybe.
Maybe.
But then rook e8.
Bishop d5, rook e8, and then bishop d5. rook a7, rook e8. If knight d5, then bishop e6, then knight e7 is possible.
Okay, so rook on
And you're up a piece.
Yeah.
You're up a piece, and you might probably can get out. So, bishop d5, rook a7, the bishop would have to move, and then I don't know. It's complicated. But bishop f2 was played, rook and knight f4 was played, and that's very tactical, very, very tactical.
Yeah, two pieces are hanging, right? Knight on f7.
Bishop e6, and then knight e3, king d2, knight e1, bishop c7, knight g2, knight c6, knight f4, and we're at this position. It could be a race between the queen side and the king side or something like that. In that case, white's going to be better, I think, maybe, because the king can come right over.
Right, I still think it will be a draw because white pieces are better coordinated. Right?
Yeah, much better.
So even if you go knight b8, you need to go
that's
knight,
what I was looking
d5 or something, right? To attack the bishop, right?
Yeah.
Then you go.
White can take that a6 pawn and then the b5 and then all the pawns. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's still The extra pawn is not because
no.
If
it turns into a pawn race, it could be anybody. But so very, very unclear. All right, let's go to this game.
Yeah, that's the young player, right? So it's very.
Okay, so white played rook f4, queen b6, king h1, and this happened just like I predicted. I actually predicted
this. Oh, you predicted the castle?
I predicted the two pieces for a rook thing here.
Oh. Is this the best? Maybe the...
I don't know. There were many possibilities.
Maybe I thought maybe long castle after the check.
Well, okay, so we had this position. What was black going to do? I mean, he could check first.
No, it's okay. If you take on f4 and then queen b6 and
king h1
and then long castle here, maybe no.
Rook g4.
Oh.
Possible.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe then queen b2. Right. That's very unclear. Right, and then, but if you take on g4, I'm taking with check.
Right.
So queen b2, I could probably play rook c1 maybe, or knight a4 or something.
So that's two pieces for the rook. So then white probably is not that bad, right?
Knight e2.
Yeah. How many pawns are?
Now that's an interesting move. Taking the knight. Well, I guess the knight's not doing much. There, the b2 pawn is hanging. Every pawn counts.
Maybe
every pawn is going to count.
He didn't go queen e2?
Queen e2. Yeah, I agree. That looks queen e2, and then rook f2 though. And then if rook e1, rook d8, intending rook d, I don't know.
But then I'll go king g1.
Yeah, but the rook comes back, and then the threat of rook d2. I don't know. White has to be careful. Let's see. Maybe this is good. Keeping. Now black has to think about playing something like g5, but that's double-edged. And black's falling a little bit behind on time, which is a problem for this young player. He likes to get into time trouble.
Oh, the young player?
Yeah.
So the Tenzin also runs into time trouble.
Yeah.
Okay.
Only 21 moves have been played. This game is definitely going to be decided.
This is not a home preparation game. This is Yeah, it's
I don't know.
Game.
This could go anyway. Yeah, interesting. Both players are good players. Let's see. Ivanov and Chambers.
Oh yeah, it's another very sharp position. It's
very similar. Yeah. Let's see. So we left off around here, and then and then this happened.
Oh, he didn't go B3.
He didn't play B3.
I thought it's automatic reply or something like that. I mean,
I kind of thought he was going to do it.
But maybe he was afraid of what, bishop D7 or rook C8 or something like that.
Yeah, it could be something slow.
because I didn't see very
I didn't
fast.
see anything.
Yeah.
Okay, so, I mean, this is not the way I would think about playing for white. And that's a calm move.
Yeah, because here, like, he can go like not yeah.
King H8.
H6 then.
All right, so both players have, okay, so King H8 was played, and then,
Then he took on C5.
and then he took on C5, getting rid of one of the attackers, but,
Maybe,
yeah,
why he didn't go H6?
I don't know. Let's go back. He could have played H6.
Maybe he was afraid of what he was afraid of.
Well, I guess black will just play G6. I mean, then that's the end of that. It looks like white's given up attacking here. I mean, black is definitely better now. There's no doubt in my mind that this position favors black. I mean,
Yeah, it
he's
seems like they
completely
stuck on the
safe.
king side,
Yeah,
right?
it's completely safe over there. And black can play F5 or play Rook A3, or there's a million moves. F2 is hanging. I think white has completely misplayed this. This is terrible for white, I think. B5,
Yeah.
B4,
I think
Queen
the
F2,
better
F5.
chances would be like with B3, right? So.
Yeah, maybe white should have. Robotod is coming up with H6, G6, B5. I'm not sure. Yeah.
Would B5, H6, G6.
So I think that white should not have allowed, in this position, white maybe should have just played B3 and tried to hold on that position.
Right.
I
So
mean,
with King
but
B1.
Queen B4 is strong, threatening knight E4. I mean, I think that this plan, let's go all the way back here. Maybe white should do the castles. Yeah, Robotod saying B3, knight B3, but that wasn't convincing to us. But of course, we don't have computer analysis. In this position, you know, white could have maybe tried bishop C5, but then it's just, you know, I'm not sure that this was the right plan for white, and black got an automatic. Okay, so in this position,
So maybe if B3 is a knight B3
B3
and A2, what?
But then, okay, so Rob Todd is saying he's not analyzing with the computer either because computers are boring. They are boring. Okay, so if B3, knight B3, AB, A2, what about King C2? I didn't see anything. If you
King C2?
Yeah, not King B2 because of Queen A3, but
right.
King B2, King C2. And now, it's not so clear. I think if B3, maybe Queen B4 threatening knight E4 or Bishop G7, slower moves, because this white's not achieving anything with over here, I don't think. Let's just keep going a little bit further. G6, AB, Queen B2, Bishop D. What about white playing H6 now? And if HG, you at least open up, you've got to open up
No, he
a
will
file
play
here.
FG.
FG, HG, right? At least something gets opened up here.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe, yeah.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This is not working, and white's now has a failed strategy here.
Right, they all defensive now.
Yeah. Okay, so going on, we Cook says, I'm not sure. Okay, let's look at this game. Elliot's game.
He was up material, right? He's still up.
He's up the exchange.
Yeah, he's still up.
And that still is
But it's kind of white is
Looks like
more
white
coordinate
is,
now.
yeah, white might have gotten a pawn here. It always was a little difficult. Let's see what happened here. Queen f6, knight a4, queen e7, knight f3, bishop e6, knight g5, bishop f6, rook d1, and now Elliot's in full retreat.
Yeah, he's going back.
Yeah, and I'm not sure. Knight b6, rook a6, knight c8, rook c8, h4, a4, and white. Okay. Well, now it looks like queen e7 is forced, or queen d8.
Yeah, but I mean, black is happy to change the queen, right?
Uh-huh. Somebody, so, okay. Queen d8, rook d8, bishop d8. Black is just going to have some technical difficulties to solve.
You think so? Oh, that's what happened. So he already took on d8, and the exchange happened. And then
So now bishop d8, and then
it's gonna be hard to defend this b3 pawn, right?
I think this is pretty much a clear win.
Yeah, I think black is happy to exchange the queens, right?
I think black is going to be fine. So let's see what's going on now.
Good night, guys. Thank you.
Hey, thank you. Good night. Good night, Nick. Let's keep moving on here. Walter Kondakov.
Oh.
Wow.
But you know,
Adrian's having a hard time in this tournament, and some of it is from the end game. From end games, he's getting outplayed in the end game. Yeah.
But you know, it was hard to defend. I mean, white had a active king, and you know.
And the game is still. Well, let's just run through it here. This got very complicated. Maybe knight b6 was better. Maybe it was wrong to push this pawn here. I'm just making very superficial analysis here.
Yeah, I think you're right, because you're attacking d5
what happened,
and defending c4.
There was a kind of an inevitable exchanges here that and now this is very good for white.
Yeah,
even if white just played rook c7, that would have been very good. Black can't hold on to this pawn. And white has a big advantage here.
They have extra pawn and extra.
And now it's gotten even worse. And this is going to be a pretty routine win here. There's always a few little things that you have to avoid, little tricks, but this is over.
I like this kind of position. Why?
Yeah.
There is no risk.
But what happened here? I see the white rook was badly placed and the white king could.
Well, that was quite circle dancing, right?
Yeah. White seems to not be able to find the winning plan. But isn't rook h7 just clearly why?
Oh,
yeah, there you go. Rook h7, and that's it. King g8 f7 check.
Yeah, I think this is the end of the dance.
Can just a quick question? Can we ban people from the chat? Yeah, just curious.
What's happening?
Just somebody's maybe not being polite enough.
You can ban some individual users.
Maybe, probably. I would guess so. But we may have to find out tomorrow or something how to do that. Let's see.
Going to actually, yeah.
Play bishop king 2 and then
That was kind of the.
So this game is over, I would say. Russell, how'd you do? Okay. We don't have to let you go through all the agony unless you want to.
Unless you want to.
Okay.
Yeah, when I lose, I usually don't want to do it. Yeah, it's not fun. For the last 2 games, yeah, it's not fun.
Yeah, you're down a queen here, so that's Russell. Oh, okay.
Who did he played against?
Ethan Bolte.
Oh, it's also young.
Yeah, the young players are taking over.
I know. All these young players very dangerous.
Yeah.
I would prefer play with more mature, experienced player.
Yeah, me too. I don't want to lose to a little kid. So we had this. Let's go. Let's just go back. Yeah, played knight f1 like I thought was a good idea. Rook e6. Black kind of has a slow burning attack here. Michael Walter won. What? Yeah, good job. We banned somebody who was making rude commentary. That's the way to go.
Yes.
Yeah. So black has a kind of a slow burning compensation for a piece. 4-5, 3-4-5. 2 pawns, you know, can afford to play a little slow. I would think that white would be able to get out of this somehow, but maybe not. It's easy to get discouraged. And there we go. You have queen e3, rook f1 check.
Yeah.
So, and this is just, yeah. Okay. We won't go over that.
Yeah, Michael, you have another winner. Yeah.
Congratulations, Michael. Yeah.
Michael was unprepared because the last minute.
Do you want to get up?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I wanna.
Come show us your game, Michael.
Yes. Michael was unprepared because I heard the parents changed like last minute, right before the game. So, but this is how you play unprepared.
Right. Thank you, Natalia. I'm gonna have to take your name off of here.
Yes.
Okay. Do we have Michael Walter's name down here?
This is kind of a mess because.
I'm gonna try to find.
Kondakov.
Yeah, but I mean, is his name down like as a? I don't think so. That's okay. This is. Oh, I've got a transition. Okay, I'm with. Scoot up a little bit. Yeah, I'm with National Master Mike Walter. Walter, who won his game against.
Adrian Kondakov.
Adrian Kondakov. And so I lost the DGT board, or is it here? Yay. I think it's here. Yeah, there it is. Can I quickly, you and I, we're the top dogs here. Let's analyze this game for a second. Okay. This is, and then we'll go to your game. This is Andy Lee. And
Conrado.
It's like always everything that I do can help you because it will allow you to gain attention.
Conrado's in the driver's seat, it looks like. Oh, there comes the pass pawn, everybody. Uh-oh.
Yeah, but then again,
wow.
Andy Lee.
I am not going to call this. Or if I am, it's going to be for black, I think. I mean, white's going to have one pass pawn to C pawn. One pawn to C pawn because this is really complicated.
Mm-hmm. I never made anything of it. And neither did I. And I spent a long time thinking about it. We do too. It's fine because you would have cast.
This is terrifying for both players.
Well, actually, I think black. So whose move is it?
It's White's move.
That's kind of what I thought.
So white. I mean, white can. White can't.
I can't do much.
Well, I can't do much except for try to keep an eye on the A pawn, and
But then he gets a pass around the upside. He gets two connected
Black's
passes.
going to have a pass pawn on the, yeah, maybe the worst case scenario for White, of course, is two pass pawns on the king side for Black, and that could easily happen.
I don't see how he can prevent it.
And White has no time to. White cannot play King D4 and King D5. I mean, without being able to do that, White's in trouble here.
Yeah.
Diaz is an amazingly resilient player.
Tony,
and,
yes, he's quite resourceful.
You know, he's goes under the radar in events, in our events, but he consistently is in the top prize winners, along with Elliott. And even in this super phenomenally high-ranked tournament, he's he was helped by a full point buy over Stearman, but now he's proving that it may not be a fluke. So what's the simplest way for Black to make a two-pass pawn over here is maybe to play G5 and F5.
Yeah.
Just play G5 and F5.
It's White's without right.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, if I was White, I'd be pretty terrified. All right, let's go to the second board. Eric Lee. And we have again, okay, so we have this another unbalanced position. Both players. G5 was the move that I kind of predicted that Black had to play to get something going here and kind of get unstuck. The only possibility is that White's going to sneak in the back, but Black is maintaining a grip here, and now this is looking a little difficult for White.
What can he do? I'm trying to see a plan.
Yeah.
I mean, G4, throw the knight in at a 5, but that takes a lot of time.
Taking time. Yeah.
Well, the other thing is, everything is protected, right? So he could. What if he plays like rook to D2 and tries coming?
I like that. I like rook to D2. I like rook to D2. White has to do something, I think, because Black is threatened to just maybe create a pass pawn on the queen side, or All right, let's go to the next game while we're here. This is Chambers and Ivanov. This is a game that, this game went south for Ivanov really badly, and this was a completely justification. Whoa!
No.
I think White probably didn't play Queen A8. Something is wrong with somehow Black crashed through. Let's look at your game quickly, because I have a feeling I'm going to get some other players in.
Okay.
Although this is interesting. Let's look at Elliott's game.
Yeah, he's up in exchange for a
Elliott's
pawn.
winning here.
Yeah.
The queen side is too weak, too vulnerable.
Oh, and now he's no longer even.
It's just a little bit of care is needed.
Yeah.
This should be a win for Black.
Yeah, well, he doesn't even have the offer the exchange anymore. Yeah.
Okay, so let's take a look at your game really quickly. Mr. Walter, Michael Walter here with me. I'm going to go all the way back, and maybe we can just do a really fast one. It's already, this seems to be sort of a random English, pick your style here. Any thoughts about any of this?
Well, there's a couple different ways of playing it. My big decision here is whether to take on C6 first,
Right.
Or not.
And Black got this, made this choice.
Yeah, and so these are I don't know, interesting positions, I think.
Yeah, very interesting.
Because you gotta live long, but if there's no tactics, then
So I threw the knight in. I'm not afraid of the messed up pawns because I have squares. But I was really surprised by that move. I thought that was not.
Better, but I didn't know what to do.
Black is black.
I thought it.
Okay, so
Yeah, it's an odd decision maybe to play e4, but it's committal. But he's a young player and he's going to want to take action.
So this just makes his pawns weak, though.
Right. There was this. I thought this position was great for you. I think that I'll show you where I think Black went wrong. Seriously wrong here. Was I thought Black had played well here. And now, that was, I think, a mistake. Maybe knight b6, and just giving up this pawn and sort of putting some, I don't know, I'm not sure.
Well, I was trying to decide if I was going to play a4 on knight b6 or just take the pawn with the rook.
No, it's true. Somehow this is scary. This is scary.
The thing is this.
We saw Gaffigan and
exactly. You want to do this.
Ezra won.
Yeah, I just thought that I was going to end up, even if the material's even, with just the better placed pieces.
Yeah, but it's already slower.
So you are threatening something right now.
Black is in trouble here and doesn't realize it, I think, yet. And this is this is definitely better for white.
Yeah.
I mean, even if the d pawn is not lost, even if all you had here was rook c7 and rook a7, he'd still be in a different.
I actually thought of playing rook a7 instead of rook c6. Yeah, instead of rook c7.
Rook c6 is right though, because you want that. Why not get that pawn? Sure. I mean, his bringing the king up doesn't really help him. I think.
Maybe I don't know. Yeah, this was on a little weird. Because like usual kings.
I mean, you'll have to go over this with an engine, but this is completely busted.
Yeah, I just wanted to push his king back.
Okay, congratulations.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, good game. No, consistent. I liked it. And a blow for the older generation.
The old guys.
Yeah, the older generation. That's important. I mean, these young players are going to be grandmasters.
I'm relishing the wins when I get it.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
I think.
Oh, very fun.
Something like this.
All right. Well, those guys are analyzing their games back there. We don't need them for the moment. Let's see how. There was one game I wanted to see. That was Gaffigan versus Jacobian.
I can't think here. Right?
This game. Okay, let's see what happened here. Okay, this did happen. King f1 was a good move. This is just going white's way.
Yeah.
So basically, very resilient position.
I barely know this.
No, I can't think for a long time.
White made some very good decisions in this game.
There's no way in,
Yeah, no, it doesn't make much.
Yeah, the two rooks and the 3 pawns.
Black is lost.
Yeah, this has to be been
lost. But, anything can happen. But
then I thought you go h4. It's good because you had g5, and you just put the pawn on h4.
Well, there's a way to overload.
Sometimes you go h5. But here h5.
Yeah, no, it's pretty bleak.
Yeah. Okay, so what other games do we have here?
Leave it, and then at some point you go.
Hi, Bob. How'd you do? Okay, good. Okay, we still have Elliot Winslow's game going here.
How's that going?
And Elliot is. Elliot. That's okay. Well, yeah, Bob Drain leaning into the game here from the left side. That's okay. It's crowded in the courtroom.
Making political stuff.
Actually, Michael. Hey, Michael, can I get Ezra? Can I get you over here and maybe also Alexander?
You want to go over there?
Take a look at.
I mean, you go. I mean, you want.
Yeah, I don't see anything.
Okay, this looks like Elliot's on his way to a win here. Yeah, if Elliot, he might need the help of his kids, you know, and it's not completely easy. It's not completely easy. Okay, let's look at what else is going on here. This is the most interesting game of all. Bishop d4, g5, just like we predicted. Bishop e3. Oh, he played f5.
It doesn't matter because if he takes the bishop, he takes the pawn. He takes the
Oh,
pawn.
yeah.
Yeah.
Although there's this problem.
Well, no, okay, so he still has the two pawns, right? So if he
Okay,
goes to
well, I
E6
think Conrado might have made a mistake. Let's try to keep. Let's go back here. What about playing
h6 first?
Are you just gonna have? Yeah, let's try playing h6 first, maybe. But then king d4.
Well, no, then you push the pawn. You're not.
Oh, then
angry.
a3.
Yeah.
Yeah, has Conrado blown it by allowing king? Okay, a3.
Yeah, that was a weird game.
Is this game over? Not yet. King d5, a2, bishop d4.
G5.
G4, C4,
G3,
G3,
G2, C6, queens. So black wins. Right?
Conrado played a great game.
Yeah.
Really has played a great guy. Good game. I mean, you know.
Oh, they're going down the line. Bishop D4, G4, C4.
Bishop D4, G4.
Maybe king C4, G3, king B3.
Oh, he played bishop D4. That's too bad. That's just a straightforward win for black.
Oh, G4.
What?
1, 2, 3, 4.
So wait, king C4.
1, 2, 3.
Oh, this is a new draw?
No. Check and then back on the back right now.
Wait, what?
Yeah, no, this is a win. But black wins.
Crazy. King C4 would be great. King C. What's wrong with King C4, everybody?
G2, king C2.
What's wrong with King C4?
King C4.
Maybe king E4.
What about
and then the
yes.
bishop is forced to decide which pawn.
Exactly.
Well, it has to stay on the A pawn.
Yeah, but then G4.
No, I just saw 94.
And the king's in the way of the pawn, the C pawn. Right. King C4.
All right, King C4 is absolutely forced.
And king E4.
Oh, he played C4. I don't get it. G3. What's going on here? G3, C5.
A1 queen. Bishop takes A1 queen. Oh yeah, it's resigns. I thought Andy Lee had a slight hold the whole game.
Only up until move 20 something, and then black played very well after that. In fact, it looked to me like black was playing for win. Black probably. I mean, you gotta hand it to Diaz. He really.
He can defend.
He defended, and this is just lost for white.
Would. Yeah. He usually gets terrible. But I mean, maybe that's what makes him stronger.
He doesn't care about the openings, making him a good practical player. So now queen.
I beat him once since
Either way.
Either queen. Bishop takes queen, make a queen, and then you stop the. Wow, what a dramatic game.
H4,
Conrado won?
I don't know.
Conrado's just too good a player to blow this.
Well, he's got more than one way of doing this.
He made a queen on G1.
Right.
Which is probably a little, many ways to win this. This is very disappointing interesting game for Andy Lee, but Conrado played a very good game here. I think defensive game at the start, and Andy Lee overextended, lost pawn, and then just continued to think. I think that he had a good game, a great game. Let's take a look. Tenzin, do you want to sit down for a second?
There we go.
I don't know.
All right.
How to evaluate the final position again.
Let's take a look at the final position.
I don't think so.
Wow. Now this is a grandmaster draw.
I was kind of nervous because
I think both players have good reason to be nervous. I mean,
it's very unclear.
It's unclear. I wonder what and he's got less time.
Right.
Something tells me black should be better here. I think somehow. I mean, it's a little uncoordinated. Yeah. Do you want to go? Let's go look at the game here. This is. I have. Do you have time?
Yeah.
Okay. I have. Let me see if I can pull up his name. I'm learning some of this nerdy chess stuff. I'm trying to find your name.
It's funny because I thought I stood better at some point, but he found probably the best line. Maybe the computer or a few.
Okay, Tenzin Shaw's name is over my name, but that's okay. We'll leave them both up like they are. Okay, so I made that transition. Let's go back here. All right, let's go back. Let's go all the way back.
Oh, there you go.
Here, you run through the game. Okay. The usual. Hey guys, keep it down to a dull roar. Thank you.
Yeah, so I didn't know that he would play c4 e5, so I wasn't really prepared. I've played this sometimes.
So you know this. Yeah. I like the way you played it for white. I was very positive. I thought a very positive way to play this.
I thought this time I wanted to develop my pieces, unlike last round. So.
Right. I like developing pieces. And that's kind of a little bit of a okay. All right.
It's very ambitious.
Principles. Okay.
I don't think that's a really. I don't know. But.
Well, I'm sure this is in the book somewhere, but maybe not.
And here I'm not sure if my d5 is right. Maybe I should just, if I play e4,
bishop g4.
I thought he might play bishop g4.
Right. Yeah.
I really wasn't sure.
Okay. So 95.
Was the most accurate one.
Hey, congratulations. You played a good game. We were watching it. You played a very good game. Yeah. We'll catch you. Are you on your way home? We'll catch you next time.
So, bishop g6.
He does a guilty look of similar waves.
I don't think so. Conrado, yeah, no, maybe, yeah.
So I didn't want to take on d7 and help him, get all his pieces to good squares. So I saw this line.
One thing I just want to tell everybody, Conrado Diaz won his game against Andy Lee on board one and now is firmly in first place, I think, by a full point now. Is that right?
That's right.
Yeah, by a full point going into the last round. So he's guaranteed a share of first place. And deservedly so after beating Andy Lee in this round. I think it's what he needed. He got a gift last round, but he made up for it by winning his game this round with black against Andy Lee. Strong FIDE master. So yeah, let's go here.
So I thought he might play knight g4. I can't really take on g7 because of rook g.
Bishop g7 or g8.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I could try d5, but I don't think it's...
How did you do, Elliot? So Elliot Winslow won his game. and has a shot at a shared first place going into the last round. Diaz won, but he has 6, and you have 5, so he could lose his last round game, and you could share first place. No, you are. There's nobody with 5.5 either. So Diaz is alone in first place. Amazing. So, yeah. Okay, folks, we've got about 3 or 4 minutes here, and then everybody out, I think.
I think after bishop f4, it's not so easy for black. I felt. And I don't know about bishop g5.
This got really interesting. Now I was watching this. At this point, I thought, okay, queen d2 is the obvious slow move.
That was my first impulse.
Right.
But then I thought, okay, why not d5?
Why not d5? And I agree. Players are facing choices during the game. Should I play queen d2 or d5? And d5 is, he's not castled, so go for it.
Yeah, but he found, I think this is the only way maybe for
And I predicted this whole variation, believe it or not, because it was simplest.
I could try d6 c6. I don't like it.
Right, because he can play what bishop. What?
Queen takes d1.
Knight d1.
Knight d1, and then like bishop e5 or something.
Yeah,
I don't think it's the end of the world. I don't think it's up there.
That's true. I don't think so either.
Because he has a strong dark square.
Yeah, and a 4-2 majority on the queen side.
Right. So, yeah, unfortunately, he has this line. Okay, knight e3 was the other one.
Then what do you play?
I think I play queen d2.
Queen d2, yeah.
If knight takes g2, d takes c6. With queen e7, queen f7.
Can he throw in rook d8?
I think they're. I mean, I have ideas like knight a4. I don't know if it's like the best way. Knight a4, take the knight.
What's that? Say that one more time.
Like knight a3, queen e2, or d8, knight a4.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Well, not sure either. We were looking at also castles, rook g4, queen b2. But we figured you could play something slow there, like rook c1, because if he plays bishop g4, you're taking the check.
I don't think I even looked at castles, but maybe.
Well, it's probably better. All right, so let's see what happened. Yeah, I predicted this line, which wasn't hard to predict.
The thing is, I don't know. I don't know if I'm better. Maybe the opposite. I don't know.
Maybe not.
I think I should take just to get a fast game on. And then I think knight e2 is a good move, but
I think queen e2, which was suggested by somebody, is a mistake because of take, rook d8, and then rook d2.
Yeah. This way, like none of his rooks get active.
Right. Yeah. No, it was a good decision.
Queen e4.
And now your knight stands well on f4. It's going to cost him to play g5, but it's the only way for.
I think he played well, and I didn't play very well.
Yeah.
I think rook c1. Rook c1 is not a great move, maybe. It just sets up rook d7. It sets up like technical problems with rook d7.
So did he miss that? Did he miss rook d7?
No, I think rook d7. I can try.
Hey guys, down to a dull roar. A dull roar. Thank you.
I think I can try like queen g1, something like that.
Okay. Queen g1.
Shut up. You don't shut up.
So b5.
b5. Okay. Maybe he thought it wasn't going to go away, but then suddenly it did.
I wanted my rook on c2 so that I could like stay on the second rank and like go to rook d2.
Rook d2 too is a possibility.
Yeah, I looked at that. I looked at rook d2 here.
Rook d2,
But b4 and c3. I don't know.
Right. Do you have anything with rook d7? Maybe not.
Maybe I do.
Maybe you do. Or
Didn't trust myself to calculate it.
Slowing you down with a3 looks like the right move.
So I went queen d2 first, because if a3, maybe c3.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. No, I agree. You have to be careful here. Yeah. Good move. And keeps an eye on d5 as well.
Right. And h6 is obviously a good move.
Right.
And here, like.
And now you both are running. And now he has to play a6 just to be consistent.
Right. So
H6.
Yeah.
H6, H3, H6.
So I offered a draw. I was hoping he would like take some time and decline the draw and like be in serious time pressure.
I'd rather have black in a way, but white. You could suddenly get overwhelmed by allowing the white pieces in somehow.
If I get an e5.
Yeah, if you get an e5.
Yeah.
Okay, so what if black plays queen d4?
So I thought
e5, I guess.
another idea is potentially queen a5, but looks kind of loose. But maybe it's queen d1 and queen h5.
Queen d1 and h. Yeah, although you
I have to
could
play
queen
queen
e1. So maybe not right away. Could you play e5 right away?
I was thinking of e5. e5 is actually interesting because rook e5, queen d4,
and you win. So he has to play queen d2, rook d2, and rook e5. You win
bishop d5.
Bishop d5.
I did see that line.
You win the rook.
I just wasn't sure.
So he has to make another move before he plays. It's worth looking at home or something. Yeah. Well, balanced draw.
Maybe queen d4 is not the best because of e5.
Right.
Maybe he should play more slowly. But
Needs to get the d file. Maybe king f8 to e7. Rook d8 or something. I don't know.
Yeah. I think this is a deserved draw. This is and you both retain chances in going into the last round, which is what's your score going in the last round?
Because there's always 5 for your next.
So you're with there's a massive tie at 5. I mean, like maybe 6 players, right? 5.
That's the first place one?
No, Dion has 6. So he's guaranteed already a tie for first. So it's
just need one more round.
Yeah, one more round. But I mean, so it's
probably you're playing.
No, probably. Wait, Josiah technically is.
Josiah has 5. Eric Lee has 5. Tenzing Shaw has 5. Chambers has 5. Winslow has 5. And Winslow.
Yeah, but he lost by forfeit.
And Winslow has 5. So it's at 5. Shaw, Chambers, Winslow, Lee, Eric Lee, not Andy Lee. Eric Lee and Stearman. So that's 5 players.
So I have
with 5 points.
I have a question. So like if you're supposed to play someone and you forfeit, like can you play them later in the tournament?
Can you what?
Can you play them later in the tournament? Or is it as though you
that's hilarious.
Yeah.
No, I'm not sure. You should ask Abel. That's a great question for a tournament director.
I kind of doubt it.
Yeah, because technically you already played them, but lost by forfeit.
What a great question for us.
Yeah, I think it has to be. It has to be.
So, if you play, the question for you folks back home is, if you play somebody in a tournament and they forfeit against you, can you get paired with them later on in a tournament? I have a feeling we all think the answer is no, but it's a great, funny question for the okay, so I'm going to wrap this up tonight by just recapping the results. We have next week going into the final round. Come and have a seat. Going into the final round, and for final, I'm going to try to find Tenzing Shaw's name, take him off, and put FIDE Master. I know, but you're here, and it's good practice for me.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
I was really quite pleased with myself.
It's good practice for me.
And then you have this like.
Going into the final rounds, we have Conrado Diaz at 6 points. And in clear first place by a full point. And tied at 5 points going into the last round next week for the dramatic final is National Master Tenzing Shaw, National Master Eric Lee, FIDE Master Hosea Stearman, FIDE Master Ezra Chambers, and International Master Elliot Winslow.
I think I play Conrado
Is that
next week,
6
right?
players? Is that 6
sorry,
of you?
Can I?
No. Let me count them. That's Shaw, Lee, Stearman, Chambers, and Winslow. That's 5 players.
All right. Still a handful. Literally.
Yeah. Do you think who do you think you're going to play next round?
Conrado, right? Like.
Okay.
He already played Stearman, technically won by forfeit.
Okay. Well,
So-
if that's the case, good luck,
I don't know.
Ezra.
Thanks.
And we're wrapping up the broadcast. Dramatic round 7. Tune in on Thursday. We are going to have the First Mechanics Rapid Championship here with Grandmasters and etc. It's going to be incredible. All right. Good night, everybody. I'm going to stop streaming. And I'm going to stop recording.
Are you sure you want to stop this?
Yes.